Good evening, one and all. It's Friday, it's the end of the week, and today we're returning to a long-standing project. It is a project of turning all Warframes into D&D monsters. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well today, where you are around the world. It has been a while since I've had this project up on stream. It's not been as long since I've actually touched it, but it has been a while since we've had it up on stream. And for those of you unfamiliar, there are a lot of monsters already in here now. A lot. Of a lot. Greymire, thank you very much for resubscribing there 5 months in a row now. Greymire, thank you very much for continuing your support here on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Welcome on in. How do I get the format? So this is using an online tool known as the Home Brewery. And quite literally, it allows you to turn pseudocode into what looks semi-official, basically. I would just scroll past all the ones I've done so far. Let's go past Mirage, and Necros, and Nezha, and there we are. So we're down at the Nezha Prime. That's where we'll be putting in the next page, which will of course be for Nidus. Let's just do that here. So yes, this is a very, very long running project. Exclamation mark WFD&D is in the stream title for anyone who wants a very, very, very quick introduction to what it's all about, but I think I just said it all myself. But all the same, welcome on in. Looks so good. Thank you, Enforcer. Appreciate that. There's only pictures in the very first bits of it, like right at the start. That's to give an idea as to how it's going to look all together. So you got an Excalibur Adept there, happily posing away. We have it done up with a mag picture, complete with, you know, using that kind of splotchy effect. Give it that, just that little pizzazz, you know? That's what I intend to do right the way through. Once the actual main project is done, I know where all the pictures are going to go. Then I can actually, you know, put in the pictures. But enough about that. We need to be talking mechanics. This blank page here needs to have some infestation on it, quite frankly. Predator Queen with a hydrate. Cheers indeed. Cheers. Yes, Zob, I imagined you, of all people, would be exceedingly happy about that, but I'm also quite happy too. So we've got health conversion, energy conversion, and equilibrium all in Warframe. We're going to enable picking up orbs even when at max. That's just brilliant. That is just brilliant. I love it. Betty said, hey again, kitchen staff is here, though we already have a 6-hour wait time. Wish us luck. Oh, good luck with that. Good luck. Wow. Yeah. Unfortunately, this started to be enemy monsters? Yes. So, my idea with that is that Warframes themselves, they are pretty simple creatures. In that they don't really have much of a personality, if anything. They mostly exist just to carry 4 abilities. In some cases, we care about even fewer than 4 abilities, which makes them not very involved characters. As a player character in D&D, they would be either boring or massively overpowered. There's not really a way to balance it. There's not really a way to introduce it in a way that I feel properly addresses what a Warframe should be. And a Warframe should be downright destructive and just an all-round menace. Monsters, however, fit that far better. Monsters don't need loads of powers and options and features. Monsters can be dead simple. At low level, for example, to give the Excalibur Initiate, perfect low level example right here. This one all the way down at challenge rating 3, could start a frame. Let's do them a little bit on the lower end. Excalibur Initiate is as simple as it needs to get. We have a bullet jump stat, we have a slash dash ability, which you can use twice per encounter basically, and then we have multi-attack with either longsword or kunai. And that's it. That is it. You know, you're facing down a Warframe is terrifying. That's the entire point. But also, because they are level scaled, it means that any of them can be dropped into a campaign and fit. I am doing away with guns pretty much because a lot of a lot of D&D campaigns don't really have room for guns. A lot of people like to not have guns in their setting, or at least have it optional. So the Warframes don't have guns. You could just call a kunai a pistol if you really want to, but otherwise it's a gun. Otherwise it's not a gun. And Excalibur Initiate, challenge rating 3, easy enough to handle. Certainly if you're a group of level 3 players, easy. So then you get the Adept, which is challenge rating 8 and has access to Radial Blind. Or you have the Excalibur Master, challenge rating 13, which has Radial Blind and Radial Javelin, as well as a Slash Dash. or we get up to the Prime, which has access to Slash Dash, Radial Blind, Radial Javelin, and the Exalted Blade. And that is a core design all the way throughout. Every single Warframe gets its first, second, third, and fourth unlocked with Initiate, Adept, Master, Prime. So the most powerful ability, that fourth ultimate ability, I can scale it right the way up because the only people who are going to face it are the people facing demigods. If you're at the point of facing a demigod, I'm allowed to give you a Prime Warframe to face. It seems only fair at that point. Hell, Inaros was worshipped as a demigod, so I think it fits. So that's been the design all the way through, and it means then you can face it as much or as little as you want. Or as much or as little as your DM wants. Ray asking, if you were a player, Ken, which Prime would you have the most concern to go up against? That's a damn good question. That's a damn good question. I think that Banshee Prime would be right the way up there. Let me see, whereas... I think I had to do some rebalancing on her, actually, after some feedback I got at TennoCon. Yeah, Banshee Prime here. So, soundless form, all actions Banshee takes, including attack, spellcasting, movement, are completely soundless. So perception checks relying on sound to perceive Banshee will automatically fail. Already not off to a great start for everyone, especially with she has a +11 to stealth. She has her Sonic Boom, she has her Sonar, she has her Soundquake, and Soundquake is made to be rather devastating in itself. What's this here? If this is the first time in a turn the creature has attempted this saving throw, it also takes 22 bludgeoning damage and 22 thunder damage on a failed save, just from the saving throw of entering into the area. But silence! That's where it gets real nasty. Silence! Banshee enhances its soundless nature to drown out the noises of its allies and quash the magic of its enemies. While active, this spell creates an aura with a radius of 90 feet, centered on Banshee. Allies within the aura have the soundless form trait, meaning they have no sound. The aura also suppresses other magic, affecting only the spells, magical abilities, and magical equipment of non-friendly creatures while in the aura. Magical effects with an instantaneous duration cast from outside the aura can still have an effect inside the aura. Basically, it's a 90-foot anti-magic field that also respects not hitting allies. It's a one-way anti-magic field. And that is terrifying. That is straight up terrifying. She also has multi-attack with a short sword, a light crossbow, and legendary actions where she can hide, short sword, or, again, light crossbow. She's designed to be an absolute menace. Also, she has 270 hit points and an AC of 18. Banshee, 18 AC, yeah. Ooh, yeah, and Norris is also another one right the way up there, isn't he? Now remember, that is challenge rating 19. That is supposed to be terrifying. Like, you're only a few levels off dealing with the strongest of dragons by that point. In fact, let me see here. I'm going to grab the book. I could look it up on the computer, but where's the book? Book. Oh, it's a bit buried. Oh, sorry, a lot of books. And a little bit of cat hair. Apparently my cat's been around this book a bit. Let me see here. So an ancient brass dragon is a challenge of 20, and Banshee Prime is a challenge of 19. So Banshee Prime and an ancient brass dragon are on the same level, near enough. I got the remote. I'll sit. So yeah. Put that into perspective. Hello there, Cosmo. How you doing? Hello there, Shriek. But yeah, what was the other one I mentioned? Inaros? So Inaros has some pretty pants abilities in Warframe, right? Pretty pants abilities. So Inaros Adept, just the Adept, challenge rating 9. I changed his devourability substantially. One action, concentration. Inaros hurls a curse at a creature it can see within 30 feet. Oh. Alright, Fedu, yep, we'll keep the music locked onto the ambient. Cheers. Hurls a curse at a creature it can see within 30 feet. The target creature must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is covered in wounds and gashes, sand inexplicably pouring out of them as they feel their soul becomes exposed. The creature becomes restrained. If the creature succeeds on the saving throw, the spell instead fails. As an action, or as part of initially casting this spell, when Inaros is within 5 feet of the cursed target, Inaros may attempt to devour the target's soul. While devouring, both Inaros and the target can take no other actions, and Inaros gains resistance to all damage. With each action, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14. On a failed save, it takes 27 necrotic damage. Remember, the target also still can't take actions. Or half as much on a successful save. Inaros recovers hit points equal to half the damage inflicted. Once Inaros stops devouring the target, such as if the target dies or the spell ends, Inaros can take no other actions until the start of its next turn. If a creature is killed by this spell, its soul is devoured. It cannot be revived except by means of wish or godly power. Betty wanted to be timed out for 2035. Alright then. Get 2035. Boop. Bye-bye. So, yeah. That's Inaros Adept. Will this be available once it's finished? It will be available once it's all finished. I mean, there's no point making it to not release it one way or the other. How it will be released is yet to be determined. But once it's all complete, I do intend to move towards actually releasing it, yes. What's the best build for Zaku? I haven't done a build guide for Zaku, I don't think. No, I haven't, sorry. So you'll have to catch me on a actual Warframe stream, then I can bring up the build I used for Zaku. Sorry on that one. Anyway, enough looking at the past, it's time to look to the present. It's time to look at making Nidus. And always to start, I grab the previous Warframe, in this case Nezha. I'm just going to copy the details there, because that gives me a template for making the new one. Boop. There we are. Nidus. Nezha was a fun one to make off stream, by the way. Nezha was definitely a fun one to make. Good shout, Andrew. Yes, I did put a build for Zaku in the augment guide, didn't I? For them. So yes, so was that there? It might be augment. Oh, you misspelled augment. That's what that was. But yeah, I did do a guide on that particular build, but that was just specific to the Zaku augments. Was it 2 augments or 1 for Zaku? I think it might have been 2. I see you. Thank you. Also, hello there. Yeah. Nezha was a fun one to make. Nezha was definitely a fun one to make. Playful is rarely a word you expect to describe a Warframe, and yet that is how Nezha may seem. This playfulness is far from endearing, however. Much like how a young child can scold an ant's nest with boiling water, so too will Nezha set a town ablaze for no other reason than to see the flames dance. That's Nezha. That's Nezha. Also, Nezha gets the fun little note about the Gwandal and Chakram, because I gave Nezha both Gwandal and Chakram. Will I incorporate mutation ship stacks? I will be looking at best ways to incorporate things without being too complicated to track everything. It's the main thing, because we're not using computers for a lot of tabletop stuff, so we don't want to have to do computing with running it all. Such a cool idea for a live. Will it turn it into a YouTube video? Also, will this account for the inspired grab bag? No grab bags will be happening on this stream because this is not a Warframe stream, it's a D&D stream, technically speaking. And as for a video, I'm not looking to do a video on this in the near future, no, Mashu. This is entirely live. But for Gwandal and Chakram, but Nezha's weapons are uniquely crafted for its agile and whimsical nature. They are made to be light, usable over distance, and suited to the more acrobatic types of character. Gwandal is a martial weapon, a lighter variant of a glaive. Not glaive as we know them in Warframe, glaives they know them in D&D. The actual glaives. We have weird glaives. It loses some damage in exchange for enabling attacks through dexterity. It is, however, not a finesse weapon, making it unsuitable for assassins. Chakram, on the other hand, are martial thrown bladed discs that through their aerodynamic design can cover impressive distances for a thrown weapon. I looked it up, that's actually it. As they're slim, a skilled user can attack with multiple Chakram in a single throw, even able to hit multiple targets. This not only makes Nezha dangerous in a fight, but also unbeatable at quads. Because sure, why not, let's throw that in there. Nezha canonically unbeatable at a child's game because Nezha's the childlike frame. Anyway, Nidus. Nidus, 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 Nidus. Let's do Nidus. Let's write up Nidus, you know what I mean. Decay and Infestation. Let's just start strong. Infestation is at the heart of this Warframe. That is, assuming they have hearts. Do we give me ideas or let me cook? I will mostly run with what I've got planned for it and just kind of bring it to fruition. If you have an idea specific to the exact section I'm on, by all means, feel free to contribute. Usually if I want to bounce something off you guys, I will bounce it off you as we go. But yeah, just kind of absorb it, enjoy the vibes, have it all come together really. To get Infestation is at the heart of this Warframe, singular, not plural. That is, assuming they have hearts. Nidus will bind and corrupt those around it, spreading a conscious plague to devastate his foes. Devastate? Yeah, devastate. It's devastate, isn't it? Yeah, it's devastate. I forgot how to spell for a second. Well, actually, I didn't. I just wasn't sure. To devastate its foes. There we are. That's an introduction. Just needs a couple lines, kind of set the vibe. Right then. So, this will be Nidus Initiate. Now, Nidus, as we know in Warframe, Nidus has no overshield, no shields at all, actually. And Nidus is healthy, armoured, has damaging ability, a control ability, a damage redirection or enhancement ability, and then his fourth, which we can't really sum up in one single way, can we? But it has a lot of features to it. Lots of features means lots of things I can work with. So, let's run down that, shall we? I mean, Nidus has a lot of health and doesn't seem to die very easily, so yeah, I'd say that's pretty healthy. May not be the healthy that you want to aspire to, but I mean, that's peak performance in terms of survivability right there. He's doing a damn good job of it. Can't be mad about that. So, looking at the stats then, we're going to go for challenge rating 4 again as the starting point. I've done that for most Warframes on the Initiate as the challenge rating 4 starting point. Let's see, so I'm going to make him a little bit slower than Nezha. Than Nezha. Only 30 foot. Standard movement speed. Let's see, AC for this would be typical 14, so I'm going to bring that up 2 points to 16. And health typical would be 75, so I'm going to bring that up to 85. Not a lot more, but enough more that it is going to be noticeable, I think. Let's take it up a full challenge rating. Let's take it to 90. I'll just bring his damage down to compensate. So the idea is that I'm going to take the stats. I've got a reference sheet of kind of where stats should be for certain levels. Actually, not the stuff it says in the DMG, which is wrong, but actual reference figures. And then I take it from there. So, Nidus strikes me as definitely a strength-based character. Definitely not Dex. It's going to be in the strength. So Dex, let's actually bring the Dex right the way down to a flat 10. Bring the strength up to the 16 for a +3. Constitution. Actually, 14. 14 on the strength for a +2. 16 on the con. All the con. Intelligence 14. Actually, yeah. Con 14. I need to balance the stats out. Con 14, Int 14, so I can bring the Wiz up a bit as well. Yeah. And then Charisma always starts low for almost all Warframes. There are a couple that have higher Charisma to start. Nidus is not going to be one of them. No, it's not going to be one of them. Skills. In terms of 2 skills we can give Nidus. I'm thinking... Let me see here. I'm thinking survival, because, you know, the survivor. So survival is a good starting point, and... Yeah, leading into this more strength focus, athletics. Are there any plans to make a Warframe-themed adventure or just do the monsters? Monsters is my focus for the moment. Simply because then they can be dropped into any adventure. Once you have Warframes as monsters, the way I'm making them, they can be anywhere. They are, in fact, easier to place than, I'd say, dragons are. Dragons, you have to consider like the ecosystem and the hoard of treasure and whatnot. Warframe could just be a murder hobo, but it's an enemy. So they really can be anywhere. Again, this VDM was available. Not a bad shout if I do say so myself. I mean, that's why I'm making them. Athletics. So the athletics will be a +4 and the survival will be a +2. There we are. Dragons can be anywhere, they have wings. I mean, they can be anywhere, but you then have to explain why a dragon is there. Whereas Warframes can just kind of turn up. They're a lot more compact and a lot more likely to just kind of track down adventurers, because adventurers have nice looking weapons and Warframes canonically love gathering weapons. So that's just kind of how it be. I'm not gonna lie, when you saw the announcement you thought somehow coming up with a mod setup that makes Nidus into a beholder or something. You thought I was making builds? So turning the Nidus Warframe into a 5e monster on the Dungeons & Dragons category on Twitch. I hope that was clear? Yeah, actually, absolutely, yeah. Warframes could be in stasis somewhere until some bumbling idiot wakes them up, absolutely. You could have them set up as guards in places, like, oh, these are some strange statues on the approach to this ancient crypt. I wonder why someone put such ornate statues there. Wait, why is the statue moving? Oh god, the statue has a flaming sword. You know, things to that effect. Because the canon of these that I've created is kind of a parallel shift from Warframes in Warframe. Simply put. Warframes are the result of cruel experimentation in the pursuit of a machine of war. Sounds familiar so far. Humanoids infected with an unnatural disease, crafted to turn flesh to armour, body to weapon, and mind to obedience. Makes sense so far. The experiment was mostly successful, failing only in obedience. Again, fits the theme. The Warframes went berserk. How these Warframes ever proved useful in war has been lost to time. Now they are feral, unbound, plundering whatever and whomever to establish a horde. Their horde is not unlike that of a dragon, both in its wealth and its defences. Warframes have a particular affinity for collecting powerful and magical weapons and armour, or the resources to create more. Warframes as we know them. So they're ancient warriors, exotic arsenal, don't really die. You can take down the Warframe, it just regrows back at the foundry. They can have companions and allies. But there is something you might notice is missing all the way through this description, and that is the mention of Tenno. Click. Hello. What? Please stop highlighting. Thank you. That was weird. There is no mention of Tenno. There is no mention of operators. There are no child soldiers involved in this, because it's a pretty crucial part of it. We can't have Warframes as D&D monsters and then hand them to people and go, surprise, you're fighting kids! It doesn't have anything remotely close to good optics, no. So, not doing that. Not okay with that. It's passable when we are playing as the kids themselves. This would just be a step too far. So, no. Warframes are just angry super soldiers? Basically, yes. People corrupted by infestation turned into these things, and Nidus is took that infestation to heart, literally. So here we are. Right, so I've got the initial starting stats figured out. Hit points, I do need to do the calculation on that in a moment. Senses are all good. Bullet jump once per turn. Nidus may turn a jump into a bullet jump, jumping as if it had run up, and able to cover twice the distance. The vertical distance is 3 plus strength modifier, so that'll be 2 plus 3 for 5, double that becomes 10. For the horizontal, that is double the strength score. Strength score is 14, so double that is 28. Firewalker, that is not the ability Nidus has. Nidus has... and the name instantly left my brain. I will just open up the wiki. Nidus has virulence. That was the word. I knew that. Virulence. I don't play Nidus often. I know how Nidus works, I just don't play him often. But yeah, Nidus has simple damaging ability in a cone out to a range. Bop, bop, bop. All good. Right then, let's do that. Nidus has Firewalker with helmet. True, yes, that is a thing you can do. Not recommended in this, but yes, that is a thing you can do. So this will be a spell, one action, no other riders needed on it. Nidus slams heavy foot in to the ground. Now, it's nice. Stomps the ground in front of it. No gentle language. It. Nidus stomps the ground in front of it, sending out a wave of infested spikes, ripping up from the ground. Misspell there. Yeah, Nidus stomps the ground in front of it, sending out a wave of infested spikes, ripping up from the ground. The ground twice, ripping upwards as it travels. That sounds better. Oh, it's cone versus line. What? Imagine getting nuked by Steel Path Octavia in D&D. Yeah, Octavia Prime should be nasty. Octavia Prime plus Banshee Prime equals dead. Pablo just confirmed Varuna's 4 counts as a melee kill for 3. Oh, wonderful. Pablo is just coming out with win after win after win. Did Varuna come out before the change of hands or after? I don't remember. All the same, still amazing. Let me check. Warframes, comparison, release dates, most recent ones. Varuna came out November last year, so that would have been in production design before TennoCon. Right? Well, Synax was the one announced through TennoCon, then it was Varuna. Varuna came out with 32.2. Yeah, that's probably one that was in development under the old school system, wasn't it? Which, I mean, yeah. I do like the direction Warframe's going. I do like it. Anywho, this. So, Nidus stomps the ground in front of it, sending out a wave of infested spikes, ripping upwards as it travels. Non-friendly creatures in a 30-foot cone. Do I want to go 30 foot? Yeah, 30 foot sounds pretty standard for this kind of thing. Non-friendly creatures in a 30-foot cone in... Yeah, non-friendly creatures in a 30-foot cone originating from Nidus. Let's make a dexterity. It's a standard defensive one. Dexterity saving throw. DC for that is 10 and 12. On a failed saving throw, a creature takes some amount of damage, and that's going to be piercing damage to match the puncture of the ability in game. I'll figure out how much in a moment. Yeah. So Nidus stomps the ground in front of it, taking out a wave of infested spikes, ripping upwards as it travels. Non-friendly creatures in 30-foot cone originating from Nidus must make a saving throw. On a failed saving throw, the creature takes an amount of damage. On a successful saving throw, the creature takes half damage only. I'm going with the half damage. 1, because it makes it more consistent. 2, because there are features which allow for characters to avoid taking any damage if they could have taken only half on a successful save. So it allows for that feature to exist. Take a break to say everything going wrong today, so I decided to watch Friday stream for once in a blue moon. I'm sorry to hear things have been going wrong, but welcome in. things are not going wrong here, so you are welcome to hang around and enjoy the vibes. And things get better for you soon. The Nidus Void Power ability is intelligent. Spell save is 12. It can innately cast the following power once per short rest. We have good old Virulence. And just a single cast should be fine. Third level should be good for the balancing. Evasion, basically. Exactly, Aishio. Yeah, evasion. That's putting it in longer terms for those who aren't too familiar with D&D, but you're very right, yeah. It's basically evasion. Right. So, Nidus makes... We'll have multi-attack as well, it makes sense. Nidus makes multiple attacks with its weaponry. Now, let's see. Nidus Prime came with Strun Prime, Magnus Prime. Not the most inspired options there. No, it doesn't give much of inspiration. Let's see, Infestation. Better Claws from Deimos. Yeah, in fact, Nidus is walking Infestation. Nidus will attack with his own claws. Yeah. In fact, yeah, we'll take, is it, I think it's Chargers. So the Chargers, they come in, they swipe at you, but if there are other things up close, they might instead use their range attack that they have. And kind of toxic quills. So yeah, let's go for that. Combine Nidus with a Charger. Karatanos? We don't need to use any specific weapons. I know I've done it for Nezha here, Gwandal and Chakra, but it doesn't have to stick that way.
Good evening, Smile.
Realed, good evening to you as well. I shall smile indeed. Absolutely, that 25-month resub. Realed, you've been a real one. Absolutely here for a very long time now. Over 2 years. Thank you for your continued support. Cheers indeed on that. Really appreciate you. We're saying more like an acid bubble since the range attack steel impact corrosive. Cool, so we can go with acid then. Yeah. We'll go with acid on the range attack. We'll give it an acid spine. So, multi-attack. Nidus makes 2 attacks with its claws or acid spine. That'll do. Claw. Acid spine. Do you think a knockback based frame would be cool? Well, you've got a number of different frames that do staggers and knockbacks already. To base an entire frame off that, I don't think it would go well, no. We got plenty enough abilities and frames that can do that in parts, rather than making a whole one on it. You're very welcome, Mila. My pleasure on that. My absolute pleasure. Right, so, let's go with the claws then. Melee weapon, +5 to hit, reach 5 foot rather than 10 that Nezha gets. Let's see. Now, with the damage stats, we're aiming for, on this one about 20 damage per round average. We want more damage out of Virulence, less out of the other attacks. So if I go for 8 average on this, 2 hits would make that 16. Which gives room for the Virulence to do some good stuff. I might bring it lower than that, but we'll start with 8. Can I get 8 in a standard fashion? We got a +2. That would be 1d10 plus... That would be 1d12 plus 2 for 8. What if I go 2d6? 2d6 is a 7, 8, 9. That's more than I want to do. 2d4 would be 5, 6, 7. Enforcer, the music you're listening to is currently the track called Interlude. It is part of the Stream Beats ambient playlist. So I was hoping to get this onto 8 damage cleanly. I could cheat, break the mold, just give Nidus a bit more strength. That would work. Oh, I don't want the plus. The plus to hit is going to be +4 at the moment. Let's see. Typical plus hit for this level is a 6. Oh, actually, yeah, because the plus hit is low, I can go for higher damage. That actually works out. We'll do that. So 2d6 plus 2. 2d6 plus 2. And yeah, I'll still be slashing damage. 7, 8, 9. That all works out. And then Acid Spine, ranged attack, +5 to hit. Range on that will be much lower. I'm only going to make it actually 2060. Make it really short range attack. So I don't want it to be anything impressive. This one will be a 1d8. Because he is ranged with nothing actually. But I could scale that up a bit. So we can go 1d8 piercing damage and 3 brackets 1d6, which actually averages out to 8 damage rather than 7. That's probably what it looks like there, but 3 1d6 acid damage. There we are. Trick saying, I'm in a Warframe. His main way of dealing damage by knocking enemies into the wall. If there are no walls, enemies take damage mid-air. So yeah, Gauss can run straight into enemies. Volt can create his electric shield and run into enemies. Garuda can knock them down with Garuda's shield as well. I can't remember if that actually stacks up stuff onto it. You've got Atlas that can just kind of bash enemies out of existence. Yeah, Banshee's one just kind of slam them around and can also armor strip them entirely as well, which is really good against a Grineer. Let's see, you've also got Frost. Frost can slam enemies, and in fact, Frost can, with a single viral proc on an enemy, Frost can one-shot it regardless of its level, so long as it doesn't have any other damage reduction. Frost can slam enemies into a wall so hard that at level cap they instantly die. That's a thing. Oberon slams. Yeah, Oberon slams vertically. Just lifts them up and drops them down. Nezha spikes them up, then drops them down. Yeah, both those are things as well. There's a lot of slammage going on. The more you look, the more you'll find. It depends on the exact way you want it to look, but unless you're being overly specific, in which case we'd have 5,000 Warframes for every Isekai out there. That's a word I came across recently. Don't know if I'm using it right, but it sounds about right. Unless we're having 5,000 different Warframes for every possible depiction of an action, you'll find the thing you're looking for out there. You'll find it. Might take you a bit of creative thinking, but it's there. Love slamming things for the physics engine to break. I mean, we're slamming them slightly less now with Hydroid. Mostly because it was actually sending them too far for us to kill, which was a problem. So, let's see, so far on this, we got the 9 twice over for 18, or the Spine twice over for 8, 16. Sambates? Oh yeah, Sambates, absolutely. So, that fly is back. I will murder you. Damn, missed it. Alright, sorry about that. Next time I'll get it. Yeah, sorry about that. That thing has been going around from time to time. It'll come around for a couple minutes, then piss off again. They come around for... It's gonna die eventually. I caught the last one a couple days ago. It's that bloody time of year as the final stragglers drifting in. Cheers, Trick. Anyway. So, for the Virulence, if we're doing... I know this is 18, but it's below hit expectations. So, if we carry over 3, 6... So we're looking for around about 26, maybe 30 to push on Virulence. 26 to 30. Expect to hit 2 creatures, so we're looking at 13 to 15 damage. Let's call it 14, actually. So aiming for 14 piercing damage. How can I get that? 14 piercing would be 46. Yeah, let's do 46. There we go. And this is how we math it. Again, apple cider vinegar. I don't really want to have just like vinegar lying around in my very pokey office and smelling it out. Just saying. It'll land in my drink and die. Hey, free protein. Let's see. So, sanity check. We've got our basic stats here. We've got our virulent spell, DC 12, 14 damage on hit, half on the save. Only a single cast of that. We've got the multi-attack, we've got the claws, we've got the acid spine, we've got the damage types. Everything all looks to be lining up there, yeah. Yeah, that's looking solid. We have got a weakness to range on Nidus, which is ideal. We have a weakness. Nidus is supposed to be bulky, not supposed to be the quickest of everything. Still got the athletics to help with jumping and whatnot, but otherwise, yeah. It's Nidus. Weakness to range sounds fine for the initiate. Hit points need to verify on that now, so it's going to be a +2 on the con. I'm aiming for 90. +2 means 6.5 per... I can go 91, and then that gives me a clean number. So, 1 extra hit point for you, Nidus. You lucky, lucky soul. And that gives us 14d8 plus 28. And that is how you create a D&D Warframe as a monster. Thank you very much for joining into the stream. That's no, that's just the first one. That's only just beginning. That's the initiate. But that is all of that one complete. That is a monster that could be picked up and dropped into a D&D campaign right now, and it would work. As is. Absolutely ready to go. So let's copy that as a template. Let's put in the details needed to split this onto the next side. Nidus Initiate recreated. But now we're going to be doing the Adept. Let's take it from there. So the Adept, I'm going to have challenge rating 9. Take it up by 5 levels, basically a tier. The XP for that I memorized is 5,000. Challenge rate, proficiency bonus is a +4. I'll start filling in the other stats in a moment. Let's see. So on my little cheat sheet of information, just checking, the initiate was a +2, +4, +6, -3 for +3 total. Yep, that's bang on the level. This next one needs to have +8 on top of that. So, the way I usually do that is +2 on the charisma, and then +6 spread across the other 5 stats. So let's do that again. Let's go all the way up to 9 for -1. I'm going to increase the Constitution by 2, bring that to a +4, and everything else by 1. Oops, not 2, 1, by 1. Not 10. What? Stop typoing, you muppet. There we go. Alright, that gives us the core ability stats updated, the armor class, and hit points. Challenge rating 9, we're aiming for a bit more than that, so 16 is the base. We'll take this up to 18 for a +2 armor over that. Hit points are expected for challenge 10 is around 150, so that's our aim. Speed, I am not going to adjust. It can sit right where it is. Skills, the athletics, that is going to have increased now to a +7. The survival has increased to a +5. And what skill? What skill do we want to give to Nidus Adept? This is where I'm actively asking you, chat. What do you think? So we got acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, deception, history, insight, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion, sleight of hand, or stealth. I think we've got various ways we can go. We've got the medicine route for knowledge of, corpses and dismemberment. Nature, if we want to go more Myconial route. Intimidation is just a nice general catch-all for Warframes are terrifying. Nature, Arcana, Stealth, Intimidation. Excellent! Everyone's got different ideas. I love that. Let's double on the Intimidation. Assume all the attack maggots would validate animal handling. We don't have the maggots yet, though, do we? Triple on the Intimidation, 4 on Intimidation. Let's go Intimidation, then. Why not? Let's go on the Intimidation. So, Intimidation sits here in the alphabet. Intimidation. And that's going to be a +3 in total, because we've got the -1 Charisma, +4 Proficiency. Boom! Passive Perception is increased to a 11. I mean, it's terrifying. All Warframes are terrifying, but yes. Nidus does have a certain extra huzzah to him. Oh! I just realised. I didn't do Nidus's passive. Ah! How did I forget to do Nidus's passive? I am a muppet. So, Nidus's passive. I was thinking of Undying. No, Unyielding. I'm going for Unyielding rather than Undying because Undying is a whole thing for Warframes in general, but Unyielding. You know, most famous passive. So Nidus has, I think, slight heal over time, and then also it's the stacks thing. On gaining 15 or more stacks, if he would die, he instead loses 15 stacks, becomes immortal for a bit. Now, I'm not going to give Nidus innate health regeneration. That will be available to the Prime through the 4, but otherwise, no. Not going to go down that line. Could do the thing zombies have. Was what I was already thinking of also, yeah. That's what I was already thinking. Pretty much on taking lethal damage, chance to save against it and just not die instead. I'm not going to copy whatever's in the book for zombies. I'm just going to recreate this from scratch. Make it my own. So, the infestation within Nidus is especially resilient. Able to patch over many mortal wounds. If Nidus is reduced to 0 hit points by damage other than psychic, will allow for psychic to get through. Kind of like with barbarians. That's not supposed to be capitalized though. If Nidus reduced to 0 hit points by damage other than psychic, it may make a Constitution saving throw. DC equal to either 10 or half the damage dealt, whichever is higher. On a success, Nidus instead has 1 hit point. So, just rereading that. The infestation with Nidus is especially resilient, able to patch over many mortal wounds. If Nidus is reduced to 0 hit points by damage other than psychic, it may make a Constitution saving throw. DC with the DC. The DC equal to either 10 or half the damage received. Speaking from the perspective of Nidus, whichever is higher. On a success, Nidus instead has 1 hit point. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that makes perfect sense. That is Nidus unyielding. When Nidus should die, sometimes does not. There we are. And that leans into the already high Constitution. We're going to take that higher and higher and higher. So, let's take that higher. Nidus Adept, we've got the details here. Adept also gets a saving throw, and yeah, bloody well know what I'm going to do. It's con. Nidus Adept has a +8 Constitution saving throw. Do monsters get their proficiency to saves? To some saves. They have to be added in. It's going to be in the stat block. I've just added it in. Specifically for Constitution. It's only for Constitution. At high levels, there'll be additional saving throws added in there. But there we go. So, Nidus, particularly good at not dying. Who knew? That's nasty. I might want to shrink down the... I might get rid of the flavor text on that just because of the amount of space it's taking up. We'll see. If I can fit in lava in one column, I'll keep the flavor text. Otherwise, I'll dump it. Just as a matter of space management. Anyway, let's update all the rest of these stats as we go through here. So bullet jump is now going to be based on a 12-foot vertical or a 32-foot horizontal. Formatting. Alright, just saying it as a word. Okay. Villains. DC is now going to be 3, 4, 7 plus 8, 15. There we go. And this 15 as well. Beautiful. I'll figure out in a moment if I want to up the damage, but for now, a lava. Spell 1 action 1 minute. Minute singular, thank you. Nidus hurls a writhing glob of tendrils towards a point it can see within 60? Yeah, we can increase the range later for a high level one, 60 feet. At the point, the tendrils burst outwards, grasping at all non-friendly creatures within 15 feet. Long range out, small range of collection. We don't need it to be overly big on the grab. In fact, I think it starts off pretty small anyway. Let's see. In-game, Lava Unmodded has a grab radius of 12 meters. Okay, wow, that's close to like 35 feet. Actually, it's more like 40 feet. All right, I'll up it to 20. I don't want to go more than 20. I feel like it'll get excessive. Nah, Ray, nah. Save the healing over time to the 4th. Okay, so grasp at all non-friendly creatures within 20 feet. Each target must make a strength saving throw, a DC 15. On a failure, the creature is the target. The target is restrained, capital as it is a specific condition, and pulled to the nearest unoccupied space to the tendrils. To the center. How did I? To the center of the tendrils. How's this fitting? At the do I want to give them a way to break out early? I feel like I should, so as an action, a creature may make a strength check, DC 15, to break itself or another creature out of the tendrils' grasp. Not a cut, no. Just a general action to pull out. Because if I go for cut, then I have to set up the AC and hit points for it. So how's that AC going to manifest? Can it be affected by spells for damage as well? I'm just going for straight strength. Pull it out. These are magical tendrils. You can't just take a knife to them. I mean, if the DM wants to allow you to mechanically represent it that way, sure. But the main mechanics is strength check. As an action, a creature may make a strength check to break itself or another creature out of the tendrils' grasp. Once no more creatures are held, the tendrils vanish. As per normal lava. Cool. That is right on the line here. I cannot make much of any other changes at this point. Virulence wants short rest. I'm going to give lava one as well, partly because I want to save on the amount of writing for this column. Lava. I'm going to call it. Yeah, this should be actually pretty high level spell. It should be 5th level. Which having balls to it. Unyielding. Let's lose the flavor text. Still so close. I knew it was going to be short. Okay, if I'm making lava 5th level, I'm going to upgrade the reach on it further. It's going to grab within 30 feet. There we are. Okay. Just about getting it all to fit in now. So, before I do anything more with the rest of the details, that is already updated. That is updated. Nidus makes 2 attacks with its claws. The claws are going to have... Oh, I just realised the range attack has got the wrong plus on it. Yeah, that's supposed to be a +2. And then here it'll become a +5, which it already is. Whereas the melee should be a +7. Right? Wait. Yeah, and I just didn't even look at the 2 hit, did I? The entire time. Yeah, the melee was supposed to be a +4 to hit. The range a +2 to hit. Here we are now, +7, +5. That's more accurate. Right. The slashing damage would have gone up to 2d6 +3, which is a 10. Whereas this would become 1d8 +1, which is a 5. I've not touched the acid at the moment. Let's see where this lands in terms of damage output. For a creature like this, we're expecting 40 damage per round. 40. 40 damage per round. And our pluses to hit here are, as expected, on the slightly low end. That's fine. That's intentional. Snake, cheers. Hello, Naheem. How you doing? So, do I have room to give acid to the claws as well? Poison. I think poison would make more sense for the claws. Acid spines, toxin claws. Yeah, let's go poison. So 10 slashing damage, and let's go 7 bracket 2d6 poison damage. That'll be 17, 2 hits will be 34. 140 total per turn. Is that a bit much? Doesn't give me a lot of room for other stuff. Now let's bring this down. Let's just go 1d6. Just the 3. Don't want to overdo it. Because we have got lava already binding them, or restraining them, and that's going to make it a lot easier to hit them. Yeah. Acid Spine. This is a +1 to hit. Yeah, we've already upgraded that to 5. Yeah, that's supposed to be upgraded. We can increase the acid on it to 2d6, which should make this a 7. So we have a 13 and a 12. That's balanced. Yeah, that's balanced. So the 13, if we assume we hit that, 13, 26 from 2 attacks. Okay, so that's a deficit of 14, 28 over 2 turns. That needs to be made up with our virulence. 28 plus the 40 is 68. If we relay the virulence hit, 68. On 2 creatures, that'd be 34 a pop. I don't want this to do 34 damage, no. But I think we can assume it's more likely to hit 3 creatures rather than 2 because of lava. But if we're doing lava, we're not using an attack. Okay. If I go 28 on the virulence, that's double damage. Do I want to go double? No, I don't want to go double. If I go 76, 76 is 1, 22, 23. It's 24. And I just do lava and the virulence on the same round. No spellcasting can be done like that, Enforcer. In D&D, if you cast a spell on your turn as a bonus action, you can't cast one as an action, or vice versa. So I could set one as an action, one as a bonus action, but they wouldn't be able to do both. What I could do is just make lava a bonus action, which would then allow Nidus to attack with his claws or acid spine afterwards as a normal action. I could do that. Question is, do I want to allow lava as a bonus action? That's harsh. High level version? Well, we need to work on this version right here, right now. This is what I'm on. High levels will come in a moment. Now, I like the idea of the combo of lava first, gather them up, then virulence, because it's what we do in Warframe. We want to encourage that for the DMs. We want to make the focus on bringing things together to get the most out of virulence. It's just figuring out how high do I want to take the numbers for virulence, and then Nidus' other attacks to make it all balanced. Betty saying my brain's not built for D&D. This is quite interesting. Oh, I'm sure your brain is built for D&D. If you were ever a kid who played make-believe at school, in any way whatsoever, then you made for D&D. The main thing is grouping aspect doesn't assist his melee and range attacks. It doesn't increase the amount of damage directly, Ray, or the number of targets, but it does increase the chance to hit because they're restrained. And just a quick reminder on the restrained condition, restrained 5e. Restrained condition. Restrained creature's speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus to speed. Attack rolls against the creature of advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. When you bring that all together, oh boy, restraint does a lot. I like using restrained condition because it's just so damn devastating without stopping the players from doing things. So it's very much you want to avoid this. If you can't avoid it, it's going to lead to bad problems. Fair do, Ray, fair do. You're not good at dice averages? Oh, that's my job. Players don't have to deal with dice averages. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's change this to 76. Do I DM? I've pretty much only DM'd. I've played sparingly, and then otherwise pretty much been the Dungeon Master for any groups I've been part of. And that's fine by me, to be quite honest. I find that other Dungeon Masters, I'm too aware of what it's like behind the screen, which takes some of the fun out of it a bit. I'm also more keenly aware that as to the failings behind the screen that others make, because again, I'm keenly aware of it. I always hold myself to such a standard in anything I do that I just become very aware of it there, and I like being more involved. As a player, you're involved for your turn. Oh, sure, you can be involved in group discussions and plans and observing what is happening, but as a player for the game, you're involved for your turn. And that's it. As the DM, I'm involved in every turn. When the wizard casts spells and I'm adjudicating how those actually land, when calling for the hit points that are lost against a barbarian, when handling all the different aspects in play, when deciding how the creature's going to react to this, that, and the other scenario, even the in-between sessions and in-between moments of creating the scenarios and the scenes to bring the players into and then see how they react. As a DM, I'm part of it every step of the way, so yeah, I DM. Because I get to be there. Get to play the whole world, not just character. Exactly, yeah. I can bring as much variety as I can conceive of to it all. Absolutely. Ray say, what about this? Lava is normal action. Nice, may make a range attack against anyone target restrained by lava. I don't want to expand the description. I am very much invested in trying to keep it into this one column. To keep it as simple as possible. Because otherwise I will need to use up an entire double spread for it. Also, I want to keep lava kind of true to form, and lava does just grab stuff. I know there's the orbit for it, but it's a very different approach. Now, I think if we go with the action, because it scales upwards then. You get the action, you get the threat, things are pulled in, the players have their turns to react, so those turns, they're now making the choice. Well, our guys who do not have good strength just got sucked in by this thing. Who's not got good strength? The squishy casters. The casters are in trouble. They now have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. That means Nidus is probably going to launch a dexterity saving throw at them. They get the prior knowledge just in that moment of, oh shit, if it's making that bad, it's going to use that. And it will. We know that. The players may not know, but they can get a good damn idea. So now they have to decide, on their turns, do they fight Nidus? Do they try to restrain Nidus themselves? Keep Nidus away from the fight? Do they try and rescue the squishies, pull them out of the tendrils? What do? They have to weigh up their choices, and they've only got one turn to do it in. There's no gotcha, it's not one then the other. There's that pacing element to it. So I'm happy to keep the action separate, keep the action economy there. Nidus is unyielding. Not quick, just unyielding. So I'm loath to switch things into bonus actions at that point for that. We can use the bonus action on the tether. What the hell's that called again? All the names are leaving me. Parasitic Link. What is it with Nidus' ability names? They don't sit in my head. Parasitic Link. That one could be bonus action. Have it as a quick whoosh, throw out. But, not yet. Right. So, with 24 from 76. 76 is 24, isn't it? 66 is 3 lots of 7 for 21, plus 3, 24. Yeah, 24. If it hits 2 creatures, it will only be 48. It's got the half damage on save, so the idea is that Nidus really wants to group up, then it can get more value out of it. Yeah. Would it make sense for Virulence to be a bonus action? No, because then you've got Virulence and multi-attack. And at that point, the damage scaling gets ridiculous. Part of the idea of keeping damage scaling to a certain point is that the DM can choose to spread attacks across characters, and the characters have time to respond. If you don't do that, it's all too easy for someone to just instantly go down, and then the party like, well, what the hell do we do now? We've just lost an entire person. Do we save them? Do we run? If we run, their character's dead. Things get bad quick. Exactly, DM's not trying to TPK. We're trying to scare the hell out of the players and make them buck up and get on with their lives. Imagine Parasitic Link being concentration to maintain it. Yeah, I could definitely go down that road. What with the con saves Nidus has got? Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll get to that, Ray. I like that. We'll just get to that. With regards to challenge rating 9, to get some perspective on that, for a squishy, we're talking wizards. Wizards have a d6 hit die. So at level 1, they have 6 hit points plus their constitution modifier. And they'll gain a further 4 hit points per level. Again, plus their constitution modifier per level. So, level 9, if they have no constitution bonus, it will be 6 plus 8 lots of 4, only 38 hit points. If you add on an extra 1 from constitution modifier, so that 38 could become 47, 56, if they're really high up on it, even 65. But they could be as low as 38 with flat out normal hit points. Constitution, that's the word. So imagine at 38 hit points, they get smacked by Virulence for 24, and then Nidus fires off another couple of shots of an acid spine, or comes up close and smacks with the claws. The claws is another 13, and then 13 again. That's 26 on top of 24. That's 50 damage. And I said, what was it, 38? So you can see the two together suddenly become, oh shit, oh, I'm dead. Even with the extra 9 hit points and +1 carnage, oh, I'm dead. So yeah. So happy you subbed, ads would ruin the vibes. I appreciate you for subbing on that, absolutely. Good news is that I don't run ads as mid-rolls. Until Twitch forces the matter, I just won't. But yeah, even then, I appreciate you've subbed to avoid the ads on arrival. Maybe I should run an ad now. No. No. They said, gotta go, just had a group of 49 sit. Okay, good luck, Betty. Have fun. You won't, but have fun. I'd say pour one out for Betty, but I'm not getting rid of this tea. Alright then, so what I can do, I'm going to up the range on this as well. Let's take this to a 45-foot cone, because their lava can grab up to, point up to 60 feet away. We can cast it as low as 45, so then it's going to be in range for virulence as well. Don't run an ad, you haven't managed to leech yet this month. I see, Snake Red, I see you. You're hoping for someone else to come and support you first. I gotcha. Yes, we got our combo of Lava and Virulence. Nidus does need to get closer to get the full value out of the combo there. Otherwise, Lava at max range. Nidus will then need to still move in afterwards. But it all works together. With all the buffs to Virulence's power, I'm going to bring that up to 5th level, to be quite honest with you. I've really increased the damage and radius there, so I'm increasing that to 5th level. It earns it. I was wondering if you could help me with some homebrew sometime. Some items, says Sean Storm. I'm not looking to evaluate other people's homebrew at this point in time. If that is something you are looking for from me, if you would like direct one-to-one support on your own homebrew, then you can head on over to my Patreon page. Patreon.com/thekengineer. I do one-on-one coaching as part of the Patreon rewards there, so if you want to sign up for the coaching that is on the tier 4 reward there, then yeah, we can arrange a one-on-one for an hour. You get that every month, and go through your homebrew, help you out with that, absolutely. But it's not something I'm looking to do on stream right now, though. Alright, Nidus Adept, let's make sure I got all the details sorted. We need to do the Constitution here. You keep thinking this is a character's perspective, you never DM'd. That's good. I want character perspectives because I'm creating this as a DM, making stuff for DMs. I want to know what the players will think facing it and going, it does how much? Again, bear in mind the levels at all points. Obviously, the primes are going to look scary. That's the point. But still, yeah, I want player perspectives, absolutely. Hit points, I'm aiming for about 150. With the con mod at +4, that'd be divide 8.5. 17.6. Let's go higher. 18 times 8.5 is 153. Your characters would soil themselves? Excellent! Are your characters level 9? Let's see, 18, 36, 72. There we go. Okay, modifiers are done, proficiency's done, passives are done, spellcasting is done, lava is done. Yeah, a druid that was. Okay, I mean, a druid would be able to handle this. A group of level 9s, don't forget, would be able to handle Nidus Adept quite handily. Because a group of level 9s, that includes people with access to 5th level spells. Not just Nidus here, the players too. A strength, druid. Turn into an animal with strength, burst out. Job done. Oh, should I put a size limit on lava? Do I have the space to? All non-friendly creatures that are large or smaller. No! All non-friendly creature, all large or smaller. Aha, that fits. All grasping at all large or smaller non-friendly creatures within 30 feet. There we are, that fits. Size limit. Therefore, if you can make yourself huge, the tendrils can't pull you. Another counter. There we are, it works. And you see, Enforcer, I wouldn't have thought of that if you didn't mention your druid. So, there we are. Your druid has just made Nidus slightly less scary. Well done. Alright, yeah, I think now I'm satisfied with that fully. We've got our damage, we've got our ranges, we've got our threats, we've got our benefits, or ways to counter it. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So now, new page. Nidus Adept is evolving into Nidus Master. A problem it won't fit on one side of the page? Well, no, it's all there. That fits. See? Right the way down. The Master I can fit onto a double spread. The highest level ones are certainly meant to take up more space. You ever look at a full stat block for high level creatures? Haha, they're big. So yeah, it's just I didn't want to do this for the Adept where I knew it was going to fit a column near enough, because otherwise we'd have literally just this space here and then a big old gap of like, well now what? Because there'd be a gap there, and there'd be a gap here, it's like gap, 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 gap. Fewer gaps, more stats. You don't want to ruin the surprise of the character? That's absolutely valid. That is absolutely valid. Right, Nidus Master. Challenge rating 14. The XP for that I think is 11,500. Let me just double check my details here. XP for 14 is 11,500. Bam! I am absolutely on form. I had my Weetabix this morning. Proficiency bonus is a +5. Let's see, 40 challenge rating 14. We go for 15 in terms of the hit points, so that'll be about a 225 or thereabouts. Speed was sticking with the 30. The AC at this point is recommended to be 17, so I'm going to make that 19. Just a little bit more fun. Right under Nidus Initiate, we should have a maggot peeking under the text box. I like that idea. It's going to be something we'll have to remember way down the end when we get to such a thing, but I like it. I like it. Slip a little maggot or maggot prime, or yeah, maggots on the corners and maggot prime at the end. That'll do. Stats. So for the upgrade to master, I think it's +1 to everything but charisma. Yep. Nidus is definitely not a charisma based frame, so we'll just +1 everything else. There we go. Constitution has just hit 20, which is always lovely. There we are. Okay, Constitution saving throw is now a +10, which means at this point now, it went from Nidus needs at least a 2 to pass on a con save 10. Now, Nidus always passes con save DC 10. Always. Cannot fail it. Just slightly terrifying. The athletics, that is now a 9. The intimidation has risen to a 4. And the survival has risen to a 7. Do we go... No. Not perception. Nidus doesn't strike me as the kind to have perception bonuses here. Healing? Healing is not a skill. But medicine is. Let's go medicine. Has he got animal handling for the maggots? Maggots come online with the 4th ICO, so I'm going to be doing it there. So medicine is going to be a +7 as well, just like survival. There we are. Saving throws. We've got constitution. Let's add in strength. Strength based, so strength save. Which is a +9. Excellent. Let's see, the bullet jump has increased, so the vertical is now 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. And the horizontal is a 36. Because we've reached 36, I'm going to up the speed to 35. Just so it's a little bit neater on using it all. As a treat. You're not in 5e, so you're not versed on the skills? I do. Large radius will be too much, right? Yeah, I don't change the sizes of Warframes. With the exception of when I get to Sevagoth and Sevagoth Shadow. Sevagoth Shadow is going to be large, but otherwise, Warframes are medium size because they're humanoid size. They're monstrosities, but they have the initial appearance of humanoids. And that's what makes it worse. Okay, oh, it's human. Well, I have a spell for that. Yep, I'm going to hold person. The spell fails. What? That's not a man in a suit of armor? Far from it. Would Nidus be able to stabilize their friends using Parasitic Link? Parasitic Link? No. I mean, technically, no. It's not going to be written into it. If the DM wants to say that Parasitic Link does that, it can use a cast of a 6th level spell to do that, then sure, why not? That's the kind of thing where DM adjudication comes into play, because at the end of the day, tabletop games are open to that kind of manipulation and on-the-fly play. So yeah, I leave that up to the DM. It's not something I'm going to write in, but it is something the DM can consider. You never thought about the human spells not working on it? Oh yeah, it's all the Warframes. They are no longer humanoids, they are monstrosities. They have been so corrupted that their magical auras, their innate selves, are beyond humanity, or whatever other species they may have been corrupted from. Atlas with Rumbled Augment could be large. Don't think that's in. Yeah, we got Atlas done a long time ago. You might need a revisit, to be quite honest. Got Atlas done a long time ago. Doesn't use the augment, but does summon Rumblers. Rumblers have their own page. There's a lot of space for graphics for Atlas to be posing with Rumblers. Yeah. The Rumblers are also listed as medium. I might later on actually come back to that and reclassify them as large. Thinking about it. I mean, they deal double damage to objects. There's not enough size variation in here. Let's do that straight away. I'm sold on the idea, just as is. Rumblers are actually large. Boom. Job done. Right, back we go. That was easy. Little patch, as a treat. Oh, where are we? There's your Nidus Master. Cool. There we are. Rumblers are large. Am I going in alphabetical order? Nearly. I did the 3 starters first as just kind of a proof of concept, and that came out brilliantly, so then I've gone alphabetical thereafter. I skipped Citrine because Citrine didn't exist when I went through the letter C. So Citrine is the only one that's been missed out so far. She's just going to have to wait. But otherwise, pretty much alphabetical, yeah. Right. A new one? Oh yeah, Dagath. Yeah, so Dagath is also going to be out of the order as well. They'll get added in eventually. It'll be fine. Anyway, those stats are upgraded. That's upgraded. Unyielding doesn't need to change. I love this. Unyielding. If Nidus is reduced to 0 hit points by damage other than psychic, it may make a Constitution saving throw with the DC equal to either 10 or half the damage received, whichever is higher. On a success, Nidus instead has 1 hit point. Well, with a con of plus 10, you now need to hit Nidus for over 20 damage. You need to hit Nidus for at least 24 damage to kill him. Or use Psychic. Can't you fail on 1? You can't, though. That's homebrew. You can fail on a 1 for attack rolls. Typically, rolling a 1 for saving throws or skill checks will mean a failure, because that's the lowest you could have possibly rolled. But if the situation is set up where even a 1 would be a pass, then it's a pass. Only attack rolls are a guaranteed failure on a 1. Yeah. That's a thing. So yeah, to kill Nidus Master, you either need to smash it hard, 24 damage just for a chance for it to actually die, and you want more than that if you want to be certain about it, or use Psychic. Yeah, this is absolutely the kind of thing that needs Smite rate, absolutely. And, oh boy, yeah. Smite would get the job done. But that's the thing as well, is that if the players burn their big stuff first to bring Nidus down, and then they hit that passive because they didn't do their research, Nidus is going to wipe the floor with them. they're going to be forced to retreat. Because if they don't kill him, he's just going to take another turn. And another turn. And another turn. And another turn. So this is definitely one of those that you need to do your research. And that's fine, I have rules for that as well. Nidus endures, yep. Warframes are terrifying, who knew? And this is also why there is that psychic weakness. By the time we've got to this tier where the con saves are that strong, players have access to psychic damage, definitely. If they didn't bring it, that's on them. So, yeah, Nidus is a weakness. But not much of one. This is also why I'm not going to scale up the damage too hard. So, leaving the rest of everything else where it is for the moment. We'll figure out the rest in a sec, except for the DCs. DCs do need to change. DC on spellcasting is now going to be a 17. There we go. So keep to rally me? Oh, don't worry. I usually do a creature in about 3 hours, and we're already onto the master, so we're into section 3 of 4, and we're 1.5 hours in. It's fine. My backup plan, if we manage to get through all of it well before the end of stream, I'll just switch over to something like MTG Arena for a bit, for the hell of it. Because why not? More creatures, more death. So, Parasitic Link. So this is a spell. It will be 1 bonus action to help with the action economy. And again, a 1 minute duration, which basically says for the duration of a typical fight. If a fight lasts longer than a minute, people are really dragging it out, because that's 10 turns each. For anyone who wasn't aware as to why the durations are all a minute. It's a standardization thing. Action is part of your turn, minute is length of a battle, hour is between rests pretty much. Day, between long rests, and durations thereafter. It just keeps it simple for tracking. Because again, we're humans. We want to play games, not track numbers. Now it's standardized? My pleasure. Right, Parasitic Link spell, 1 bonus action, 1 minute. Nidus extends a piercing tendril to support or sunder another creature. Nidus chooses 1 creature it can see within, let's give this a good range, 120 feet. If the creature is... No, not if anything about the creature. Concentration? Oh yes, I didn't build on concentration, thank you. Concentration, there we are. That tag is on there now. No, shoots 1 creature it can see within 120 feet. And attempts to connect via the tendril. The creature may choose to attempt, may choose to dodge with a dexterity saving throw. Do I actually? No. No dodge. I have a point where characters can dodge or deal with part of the effects, but not here. No. So, let's choose 1 creature it can see within 120 feet and connects the tendril, applying 1 of the following effects of its choice. Effect number 1. Ignore the void powers, but it'll be fine. Wait, no, hang on. Why is the void powers in like that afterwards? How do I stop void powers being indented? Is void powers always indented? It's not, no. Why is the bullet point Indenting void powers. I don't want it to do that. Shit. How do I... I want it to not indent. Ah! What? Why does bullet... Whatever, okay. I'll do this a different way then. I'll find a thing. I'll find a thing I can do. Let's see... What if I double entry this? Ah, that looks horrible. I don't like the look of that. No. Split table. Oh gods. Undo. Nope, not that. Does this make a table? Okay, this... I don't know why it's cookie tasting, that's why that's the default, but this might go along the way towards what I'm looking for. No, that's not what I want. No. No, that looks terrible. Not going to do that. Okay. I will instead use a bullet point looking character and just force it in that way. Not the ideal way of doing it, but it'll work. Damn formatting. Apply one of the following effects of its choice. Either, colon, Nidus and the target both become invigorated, granting each of them advantage on attack rolls and applying disadvantage creatures attempting to no. Let's rephrase that. Grants each of them advantage on attack rolls. In addition, targets of their spells have disadvantage on saving throws against those spells. So Nidus and the target both become invigorated, granting each of them advantage on attack rolls. In addition, targets of their spells have disadvantage on saving throws against those spells. I think that's clear enough, right? Morning, Penguin. How does Nidus? Nidus is going well. Nidus is definitely going well. They are a terrifying one. They are resilient. Not the most damaging, but resilient indeed. Does this make sense then, chat? Nidus and the target both become invigorated, granting each of them advantage on attack rolls. In addition, targets of their spells have disadvantage on saving throws against those spells. It feels, at a glance, clumsy to me. I'm not sure a better way of wording it without just getting too wordy. Monster doesn't fall quickly, it's always terrifying. This one's especially resilient, Penguin. It has the unyielding trait. If Nidus is reduced to 0 hit points by damage other than psychic, it may make a Constitution saving throw with DC equal to 10, either 10 or half the damage received, whichever is higher. On a success, Nidus instead has 1 hit point. So basically, take damage, con save, might not actually die. And that is infinitely repeatable. Nidus also has a plus 10 to Constitution saving throws at Master tier. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's clunky, Enforcer, it is. It's clunky, and I don't like that it's clunky. Ray says the target's neutral advantage. No. See, that's where the issue is. So what I want is, this is the friendly one. When you cast Parasitic Link on a friend, in Warframe, you gain strength. Now, I don't want to just have a floating modifier of plus damage on everything, because that is in itself clunky. It's not really befitting of 5e's design. So that's where I'm going for the basic advantage-disadvantage approach. For starters, advantage cannot stack with advantage, so you can only get so buffed. And likewise, disadvantage can't stack with disadvantage, you can only get so debuffed. You either have it or you don't. So that's why I'm using that feature. What I want is for both Nidus and the target, the friendly target this is to be used on, both of them get advantage on their attacks, and both of them, when they cast a spell, targets of that spell have disadvantage on saving against it. Does it say target ally? It doesn't need to, Ray. Nidus can choose to use this bullet point or the second I'm about to write. If Nidus chooses to use the friendly one against an enemy, then Nidus is a moron. But the idea is to leave it open, partly because Nidus could cast that onto an enemy, and then that same enemy can become mind controlled or forced or compelled in some way to cast a spell. And because they are boosted by Parasitic Link, they are compelled to cast that spell even more powerfully than normal. So it opens it up. Plays and counterplays, and at the same time not over-specifying where things don't need to be specified. Seriously though, Nidus plus Nyx, could you imagine that combo? Doing that, Parasitic Link on something, say onto the Barbarian, then Nyx just goes, cool, and Barbarian, you're on our side now. Barbarian turns around to the wizard he was just stood in front of. He's like, "Hey, wizard, I don't like you anymore. Chop." It's pretty clear at least. I mean, Ray just got confused. In addition, targets of the spells have disadvantage on... I could go, in addition, when Nidus or its target casts a spell, target creatures have disadvantage to save against the spell. None if you have the right Barbarian Penguin. If your party member can be turned by a single meal, that's just a bad party member. My personal opinion. It's just as clunky? It is just as clunky, isn't it, Simfire? A lot of mechanics, a lot of moving parts that have to be defined at once there. Yeah. I can't think of a simpler, narrow way to describe it, but I also don't want to chuck it out. You've had a Barbarian whose downfall has been food motivated. That's quite the downfall. Like, if a single meal is enough to get them to turn coat like that, that's more than a disadvantage. What about using keyword link target? Nidus and the linked target both become invigorated, granting each of them advantage on attack rolls. In addition, targets of their spells, targets of spells cast by Nidus or the linked target. Yeah, I can work with that actually. That works. Let's do that. So Nidus and the linked target both become invigorated, granting each of them advantage on attack rolls. In addition, when Nidus or the linked target cast a spell, targets of that spell have disadvantage on saving throws against it. Boom. Yeah. Not much wordier, much clearer. I like that. And this is why I do some of these live. Creatures under the effect of Parasitic Link. See, that's just link target. Creatures under this effect of Parasitic Link is just link target. Because it's coming straight off of the bullet point of Nidus chooses to link and does this. Don't want to do damage reroll on ones like... damage reroll, on the one hand, would also fill a similar purpose. On the other hand, with damage reroll, one, that scales with advantage disadvantage already existing, so you can have potential overscaling of power there. Two, doesn't have any means of counter. So for example, if you've got disadvantage being forced onto you for a spell save, you could use something to give yourself advantage to counter that. Because if you have both advantage and disadvantage, you have neither. Period. And then 3, it then doesn't affect anything other than damage. So with this, I'm boosting the strength by boosting the application of the spells. So yeah, either of them can work. I am married to this particular idea because of the simplicity of it. And this is where 5e shines. For anyone not familiar with 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, but is familiar with other tabletops, this is where 5e really shines. Because you can throw out advantage and disadvantage as buffs and debuffs quite willy-nilly, because they can only go so far. They are safe buffs to throw out. You don't want to give them all the time. You don't want to have permanent advantage. That is ridiculous. And likewise, permanent disadvantage sucks. But it tips the scales enough without ever changing the ranges. Like, if the maximum you can roll is a 25, advantage doesn't mean you are going to get 26 now, it just means 25 is more likely. Much simpler, much safer buffs. Penguin saying, wait, this could be funny. Parasitic link onto party spellcaster, then Nyx onto said spellcaster. Exactly, Penguin, exactly. Yeah. You take control of one, and then turn them on their allies. Most like the barbarian. And then if somehow the mind control is broken, but the parasitic link is still there, now it just goes, oh, I drop concentration. Parasitic link is gone. That easy. It's that easy. So yeah, that can definitely be used tactically there, and it just adds an additional level of fear factor while still retaining the initial core idea of using on an ally instead. Alright, and now we need the other bullet point. Spellcaster will be a lot stronger because of the disadvantage on saving throws. Someone say fireballs. Well, it's also an advantage on attack rolls, Penguin. So Barbarian with advantage on attack rolls. Oh boy, that can hit hard. Or likewise, a Rogue. A Rogue with Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack just requires advantage. That's one of the possible triggers of it. Or a Paladin. Advantage, crit fishing on Smite. Anyway. What if I try to make him regular bullet points again? Now I've got 2. Oh, let's try it. Nope. It makes the formatting of the bullet pointed paragraph better, but then void powers becomes indented and I have no idea why or how to fix that. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Actually, I didn't put text here. What happens if I put text there? No, again. The bullet points become good, and then void powers becomes indented. Why is it bullet pointing the void powers? I mean, if I put here a cancelled bullet point, no, it doesn't fix it. Ah. It's not regular Markdown, no. This is specifically tailored to work for this. So, like, this whole box here, the orange bars on the bottom and the background to it, all that happens just because of these underscores right here. Yeah, Penguin, yeah. A lot of people think sneak attack means sneaking. And I get it, because it's called sneak attack rather than tactical strike or something like that. But sneak attack really is very forgiving. You either need advantage or to have an ally adjacent to the target. And you need to not have disadvantage. I think those are the rules on it. I'm actually going to Google that real quick. Sneak attack 5e. It's been a while. Rogue, sneak attack. Let's put this over here. Here it is. Being at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal extra damage if you have advantage on the attack. You don't need advantage if none of the enemy is within 5 feet of it. That enemy isn't incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. Yeah. So either have advantage or don't have disadvantage and have an ally next to it. A living, breathing, threatening ally next to it. Actually, it's not even an ally, an enemy of the target. It could be a third party for all it matters. That's how forgiving it is. Once per turn. Yeah, once per turn. That's the limit. 5th edition doesn't require too much in the way of positioning, so things like flanking. Flanking isn't in 5th edition by default. There is a very basic flanking rule in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It is terrible. Do not use it. It applies that if you have 2 allies on different sides of a creature, then those allies gain flanking and therefore advantage to hit, which just leads to, oh, let's stack everyone in a conga line. Now everyone gets advantage. What are advantage granting spells and features? Who cares anymore? It's terrible. Don't do it. Did I umbra my Skiajati yet? No. No, I did not. Any of the rewards from QTCC that have been unlocked so far, they're all going to happen on the Saturday 14th stream. So yeah. Hello, Umbrelli. Things are going well. Can't say on because of work. Probably popping in and out on downtime. Fair do, fair do. Yeah, things are going well. I need to make sure I don't get too distracted making this, though. So let's continue this parasitic link. Nidus. Nidus feeds off the vitality of the linked target. When Nidus takes damage, it instead takes half damage, and the linked target takes the other half. In addition, on linking to the target, it must make the target must make a charisma saving throw. Would it be charisma or wisdom? No, it'd be wisdom for what I'm going to do. Wisdom saving throw. DC is 17. On a failed save, the linked target is charmed by Nide until the spell ends. And yes, just until the spell ends. Let's get rid of these, they're not working. There we are. That'll have to do. Is this about improving Nidus? Let me tell you, this is about Nidus as a D&D monster. It says in the stream title. You know, being able to split the damage Nidus takes with a party with no save, plus unyielding may bump Nidus TR up a fair bit. That's the thing though, because this is going to be Nidus's power up, Nidus is not going to get a lot of damage instead. This is Nidus's tier 3 damage ability. That's where the challenge rating is coming from, Simfire. So I'm not going to be buffing up much, if at all the other stuff. Instead it is that transfer. And because it is that concentration thing, they could seek to break that concentration by some means. Yeah. It's certainly going to be dangerous, that's the point. Also, it can be counterspelled and then it's gone. That's also the point. Also, actually, let's play here. Apply one of the following effects of its choice while the target remains within range. There we are. There's your other modifier. If Nidus grabs onto it, puts a parasitic link into it, and stays within range, job's a good one. If it allows the creature to get out of range, problem. There's our other counterplay then. The creature can move more than 120 feet away. Charmed, so it can't fight Nidus if it fails a save, but otherwise it can move. Unless it gets lavaed. Then it can't move. So yeah. Just checking on the charmed definition there. Charmed 5e. Just make sure I'm not coming up with something stupid with that. Charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charm with harmful abilities or magical effects. The charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature. Yep, doesn't say anything about turning it friendly. That's good. Yo! Adam Malik, thank you very much for the gifted sub. You have indeed taken first place on the channel here. Thank you for gifting it over to, let's see here, that is X8Obito? Or X-Bobito? I'm going to go with Bobito. I like the sound of Bobito. Adam Malik, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Bobito. I have no idea if that's how they want their name pronounced, but we'll find out, won't we? Cheers. Oh. Cheers indeed. Your group uses a heavily homebrewed version of Pathfinder 1e, so a lot of the exact rules go over your head. Fair do. That's one of the reasons I like to say to the book as much as possible when playing something like Dungeons & Dragons, because I want people to know what buttons they have to press and what buttons just don't exist. When I say buttons, I mean like features they can interact with, things and rules they can call on. I want someone to know that when they roll a 1 on a saving throw, it's not an automatic failure. They can use buffs to bring it up to the difficulty class. Cheers. I've been here the whole time, playing as well. Fair do, Addy. Fair do. Maybe also surprisingly empty, but I guess that's because of QTCC. Well, I mean, partly that, probably saying. Partly because we are 6 days into October. Which means I did a stream on Sunday, Wednesday, and now today. This is the 3rd stream in October, and the start of the month is always quieter. Payday is at the end of the month, so I'm not fussed. Besides, have you seen how much support there has been on QTCC? Have you seen just how much support there has been on QTCC under just this channel alone? We're at $1,058 raised over there. I'm completely blown away by that. $1,058 is a huge contribution. Seriously, I underestimated this community. We haven't even got to the QTCC stream slot on the Saturday stream as yet. God knows what's going to happen then. It's, yeah, you guys are amazing. Seriously. So, if my leaderboards look a little bit bare for that, that's a win. That's my contribution to it. Let's think of it that way. But I say, I can imagine some rules as written can be tedious. They may to you after all to remedy some of those. Yeah, that is the thing is, you know, make sure you're on an edition that's designed to be enjoyable at vanilla. Yeah. So, let's continue on with these, shall we? So we've got Parasitic Link. Nidus feeds off the vitality of the linked target. When Nidus takes damage, it instead takes half damage, and the linked target takes the other half. In addition, on linking to the target must make a wisdom saving throw, DC 17. On a failed save, the linked target is charmed by Nidus until the spell ends. Yeah, that all works. That all works. Void Powers, Nidus power ability is intelligence, that's already been upgraded. Got these 1 per short rest, each of those. I'm going to add on the next one. Nidus is only going to get 1 for each of these, so Nidus needs to use them sensibly. And this is going to be... That's going to be a 7th level. Or would it be... 6th or 7th? 6th. We'll go 6th. I don't think it needs buffing up to be declared 7th level. If anything, declaring it 6th level is a nerve, because it makes it easier to counter. Yeah. Really, neither. It's neither. When you halve something, you round down in D&D. Always. So if it's 37 damage, half of that is 18.5, so it'd be 18 damage each. It's always half. Fractions are rounded down. I say always. Almost always. There are exceptions. They're explicitly called out in the rules. But almost always, it's rounded down. So yeah. The charm is mean. You like it? Yeah. It's supposed to be the final threat of it. It's something that can be countered. It's wisdom save. Wisdom saves are the more dominant saves. They're more frequent, so there are going to be more characters with protections against it. And the charm, for clarity on that, all it does is it stops that creature attacking Nidus. It doesn't stop it attacking its allies. It doesn't stop the creature from just walking away from Nidus. All it does is it makes it where that creature can't attack Nidus. It can't use harmful things against Nidus. Why would it? It's Nidus. I can't hurt Nidus. It says this thing just leeching into it, sapping at its insides and its gut there. It's like, no, I can't hurt Nidus. I can't. Makes Nidus a trusted ally? Not trusted ally, no. Just far enough that you can't bring harm to it. It's like seeing a child holding onto a knife. You want to take the knife off it. You'd very much like it if the child could stop stabbing everyone. But you might not bring yourself to kick the child in the face. If you can, well, fair enough, you're a monster. The little kid, you're charmed. It's too cute. It's too small. I can't do that to it. I've got to do something, but I can't kick it in the face. That's charmed. You're not friendly to it. You're not on its side. You can't hurt it. Gotta do something else. That's charmed. It does also give Nidus advantage on charisma checks with it. On any, not charisma checks, any ability check to interact socially with the creature. Yeah. Yeah, read on charmed? Yeah. If you don't want to go down the whole child with a knife route, think again like your significant other. You see some people doing stupid shit or being threatening in some way, you just deal with them. But if it's your other half, I mean, you love them, you trust them, you're connected to them. You take a second step back from that. You can't go straight to 11 against your other half. Charmed. Can Warframe speak? Yes. So Nidus Master here is language common, so it can speak common. Absolutely. What's the second option effect? It's Nidus' thing here. You can read it. I think probably. Maybe it'll be too small. But basically, Nidus feeds. Oh, that thing again. Nidus feeds off the vitality of the linked target. When Nidus takes damage, it instead takes half damage, and the linked target takes the other half. In addition, on linking to the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the linked target is charmed by Nidus until the spell ends. Simple as that. I also added a range limit, so not just the casting range, but if only whilst the target remains within range does the spell remain in effect. There you are. Draw a knife yourself and fight the child in an honourable duel. And if the child doesn't accept an honourable duel, then you can't do that. Well, now you're back to square one, where you can't just kick a child with a knife. No. Anyway. I knew it was risky going for the whole appealing to not kicking children in the face when dealing with people who play Warframe. I knew it was a bit of a touch and go one there, but I kind of hoped it would land. Kind of hoped. Right, let's see where we sit here in terms of outputs. Does it work the other way? If a Nidus charmed me, could I stab myself to seal half damage to Nidus? No, because it doesn't go the other way. It only says when Nidus takes damage, it instead takes half, and the linked target takes the other half. It's only specifying that way, so the other way doesn't happen. Other way absolutely does not happen. So yeah. You say, I'm back to square one because you have a knife. Yeah, but you still can't use the knife. Because that would be an aggressive act. That would try to harm it. And you cannot attack it or target it with harmful abilities or magical effects. So what good's the knife? You can't use it. Anyway, well off course here. Well off course. Yeah, I'm ready. I thought about allowing it to bounce back, but then that does just allow ridiculous bypass of Nidus' defense when it's supposed to be a defensive thing, so nah. No. Alright, where was I? Yes, damage checks. So, I haven't changed the damage directly, so let's see what damage output we have. Assuming Virulence hits 2 creatures, that's 48. That'll be action 1. And then action 2 and 3 would be the attacks down here. The attacks I can increase. Their stats have gone up. That is a plus 9 to hit. For 2d6 is average 7, so that's 11. And this is a plus 2. So the 5 becomes a 6. And the 2 hit has gone up to a 7. But that's only going to be on the higher end here. 11 plus 3 for 14. Twice for 28. Whereas at this level, we're expecting damage in the region of 65 per round. Even Virulence doesn't come close to that, unless you hit 3 targets, but we shouldn't be relying on 3. That's not how the balancing works. So, I can freely increase the damage here quite a bit. And I'm going to do that through the use of legendary actions. That's where I can take this, because we got this lovely space down here, just begging for legendary actions. Chuck say, hi, 2 hours late, but guess who liked British tea? Oh, that's wonderful, Chuck. That is wonderful to hear. And welcome on in. Alright, let's copy the section from Neja Prime here. I use that as a template. Bad up. There we go. We'll just change out the names. The Nidus has access to legendary actions, which it can use between turns up to 3 times. At the end of a creature's turn, select one of the options below. The Nidus regains spent legendary actions at the start of its turn. Detect Nidus makes a wisdom perception check. I like having that as a 1 on there. That's always a nice one to have. I'm going to have Quick Swipe. Nidus makes an attack with its claws. Now let's see, if we go for that, that adds on theoretically 14 damage 3 times over. So we could effectively do that 5 times around, which would be 70. That's too much, is it? Yeah, that's too much. Damn. That is too much. Let's go for the Acid Spine because it's got a lower to hit. That'll be safe. So, Quick Shot. With its Acid Spine. Wait just 1 sec. I'm not waiting. We're going to continue the stream. It's fine. I know what you mean. So Nidus makes an attack with its Acid Spine as a quick shot. That's just one action. That is 6 plus 8, technically, for 14. 14? Oh, wait, no. It's 6 plus 7 average. Yeah. 13. 13 and a half. Would it be a good idea to look at the rat monster page for you to model them after? I won't need to bring up the rat monster. I will be able to create just a creature that fits directly, Ray. It'll be fine. I'll tailor make it. It's not like I need to take a creature model from part of a video game and use that as a template for making a creature model. We have the model for creating creatures, and I just slot in the numbers. I don't need to use a rat. Yeah, Nidus makes a wisdom check, wisdom perception check. That's detection. Quick shot. Nidus makes an attack with its Acid Spine. Let's see. Let's go for a movement one. Reposition. Nidus moves up to half its speed. There we go. Now I wonder if you can recognize what's terrifying about that. Specifically with regards to the range on Parasitic Link. Yeah, it's now try and escape Nidus. You're gonna have to try even harder. Because Nidus can bonus action Link, move, dash to move again, and then legendary action 3 times over 3 turns, move, a half. for a total of 3.5 times its movement. That'll do. That'll do. Or 2.5 if it doesn't dash, and could still do nasty stuff in the process, like multi-attack with claws. Yeah, I like where that's gone. I like where that's gone. I'll be honest with the Acid Spine, I'm kind of having an image in my head of the, what's it, those really tall creatures from Star Trek, was it Odyssey? Well, it was on Netflix for a while, but then they took it off because it went somewhere else, and I never got to watch the last series. God, all the names are leaving me today. Never mind the names, I'll stick with the numbers. I'm good at numbers. Right, Nidus Master. Let's make sure everything is in a spot then. So we got legendary actions bringing up the That was the thing, Parasitic Link was bringing up the damage. This might be too powerful. This might be too powerful. I have an answer. I have an answer. I'm going to put this here as 2 actions. It's a massive nerf to it. Instead of being able to do it 3 times across 3 actions, we can only do it once now, and then 1 other action for the other 2 items. That's a massive nerf to it, and I think that's necessary. Because otherwise, with Parasitic Link, things can get stupid. Yeah, I'm just going to have to go with that. Yep. I think that gets the right range of terrifying. We've got Virulence, we've got Lava, we've got Parasitic Link, we've got Unyielding Passive, we've got the attacks, the claws, the Acid Spines, the additional Acid Spine, Detection to ruin stealth, Repositioning to, well, reposition. I think that has got a nice solid combination of threats without having too few weaknesses to be addressed, yeah. And it's still a grounded 35 movement speed creature, like monks and the like can just run around that. Yeah, I think that'll do. So, let's do the prime. Let's do the prime. So prime is going to be a challenge rating 19. That is my goal. With all of these, what I expect to do is after playtesting is maybe adjust them up or down 1 or 2 challenge ratings to account for where they are statistically, rather than make sweeping changes to the stats to try and shoehorn them in. A little bit of variation in challenge rating is actually a good thing, so. Let's see here. AC suggestion is 19 for this level, so I'm going to make that 21. We are tanking. Oh, I didn't do the hit points. I always forget to do the hit points. 2d5 divided by, that's 9.5, is 23.68. Let's go for 24, which comes to 228. That works. 24 plus 120. Boom, there we are. I want to ask, you said you got some feedback at Tennicon. What was some of that? It was only a tiny bit. One person who came up to the autographing booth shared that they'd actually had, what's it? Yeah, they'd implemented one of the variants of Banshee into their campaign. Unfortunately, didn't get much detail in the way the fight went because the fight didn't happen. Banshee deployed silence, and the entire party went, nope, 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 we're out, and just pegged it. They just felt so shut down that they didn't even want to try to fight it. They were terrified, which is great on the one hand. On the other hand, that original design of the silence was a little bit overbearing, so I have worked it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Basically, I've added in the clause that instantaneous spells from outside of the area can still have an effect. Much like how if you have too small a range on silence, then Blitz Eximus can still blitz you. Arson Eximus can still send out the fire wave. So that's the balancing I've gone with there. But it's a tiny change. Alright, so Nidus Prime then. We said 21 AC. Hit points for this one. We're looking around about the 300 mark will be good. That's where I'm aiming for. I'm going to increase the speed to 45 feet because primes are just better. Wait, silence shuts down Xmas? Yeah. Banshee Silence, which can be subsumed on 20 Warframe. So long as they are in range, it will shut down their active abilities. Only the active ones. So the Snow Globe around the Arctic, gone. Fire Wave, gone. Blitz Barrage, gone. The Shock Orbs, gone. The rotating shields around the, what do you call it? The Guardian Xmas, gone. All of those things shut down. It makes them so much easier to kill the Guardian Xmas, especially. It also means that no grappling hooks from Scorpions, no grappling hooks from Ancients, which is very nice for dealing with Disruptors, because Disruptors no longer go smack and you instantly lose it all. It shuts down abilities from Acolytes, such as Silence on Violence. That's also been silenced. You'll shut down the bubble that Malice will pop out. You'll shut down Turbulence, that'll pop onto Malice. Mania. All of those things get just turned off. Silence is a super strong denial ability. Super strong. And it's kind of necessary for Banshee. So, you know, it's kind of good she has that. Anyway, statity matity. Yep, I need to give a +1 to every stat for the Prime. Because it's just stronger. And yes, this does mean a +6 to Constitution. Deal with it. Or don't and die, I don't care. I'm simply the creator. I don't need to hold your hand and keep you alive, that's your job. Saving throw, we've got strength, we've got constitution. Let's go for... let's go wisdom. The unyielding is now both unyielding in mind and body. Wisdom. It's not the most observant, it's not the most effective at intelligence saves, and it certainly can't keep itself on this plane of existence. It's not got that magical mumbo-jumbo. But to try and corrupt the mind of the infestation, this one is strong. It is not going anywhere. Let's update the stats. This should be a proficiency bonus 6, Wiz is +9, Con is +12, Strength +11. Beautiful. Athletics. Yeah, I'm going to keep with the 4 skills. Athletics is going to go from a 9 then to... did I not update these earlier? That seems like a lot. I didn't... No, that's right. I don't know why I was so concerned there. Yeah, it's fine. 9 to 11. Intimidation has gone up to a 6. Medicine has gone up to a 3 + 6 for 9. And survival, I'm actually going to give him expertise in survival. He is the survivor. So he's 6, 12, 15. Passive perception has climbed to a 3. Did I not? I didn't update that. Whoops. There we are. Now it's correct. Is this latex? No, this is a computer. Well, this is just... I think this is polyester. I'd have to get it off to check, but Twitch doesn't like me undressing on camera. If you're talking about the language here, no, it's some variant of Markdown is what I know of. It's made by a website called The Home Brewery. I have no idea the actual language involved. I'm guessing Markdown. If that's even a language. Alright, bullet jump. Once per turn, Nidus may turn a jump into a bullet jump. Because it's a prime though, it's jumping as if it had a run up and able to cover 3 times the distance. So the vertical 5 + 3 is 8, so that becomes 24 for vertical. Yeah, Nidus Prime, just standing on the spot. Tiniest crouch jump. 24 feet off the ground. No run up. That's a bullet jump from a Prime Warframe for you. That is, that's quite the distance. To translate that into people who don't speak feet, oops. I don't think I'm doing that right. Yeah, so that is 7.2 meters. If I'm remembering correctly, 7.2 meters straight off the ground. And then you add on the extra 1.5 meters from reach, and basically, actually 1.8 meters, basically we can reach 9 meters off the ground. Head height. 7.2 foot clearance. If you add on another meter for arm reach thereabouts, 10 meters off the ground, ledge could be there. Nidus could pretty much just about jump all the way up to it from standing. In fact, not pretty much, definitely, because you can bullet jump and not get all the way there near enough, like a few centimeters short, and then use the double jump that all Warframes have. So yeah, this is bullet jumping in full force. All the primes get get triple rather than double. And so their jumps just are wild. Prime slaps on a parkour mod? Basically, yeah. Also, welcome on Cut again. Yeah. It's wonderful. LaTeX is the coding language used to generate PDF, actually pronounced LaTeX. No, it's definitely an X there. That's definitely an X. If they wanted it pronounced LaTeX, they put a K or maybe a C at a push, but no, that's definitely an X, so I'm calling it LaTeX still. And if that offends any programmers, well, tough, I'm not a programmer, I'm a engineer. I'm done with words being spelled one way and pronounced another. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Alright then, unyielding doesn't need to change. Bullet jump has been updated. Well, I've done the vertical, I didn't do the horizontal. Horizontal is now 60 foot. There we are. Says the English speaker? Yeah, says the English speaker. Deal with it. Just like we did with spices, we went around the world looking for words and we decided we didn't really like any of them, so made our own. Let's see. DCs need to be updated. So the DC on spellcasting is 5 plus 6 for 11 plus 8 for 19. It's only a plus 2. It's always a plus 2. So let's just update all these numbers to 19, 19, 19, 19. And it is here, 19. Boom. Alright, that's all updated. Damage I'm going to leave out for now because we could have a look at adding on our final spell. That final spell is escaping my memory. How have I lost all of them? That's all of them I had to look up. Ravenous. I really do not play much Nidus. Ravenous. Spell, just to clarify, it can be counterspelled. 1 action. 1 minute. Again, lasts for pretty much an encounter's duration. Make a bunch of maggots inside someone's body. They start on the ground, but they can find their way to bodies. They can go full, you know, Ant-Man and Thanos, if you really want to. What challenge rating is he getting, being part of a group that exterminated a higher race? Telscape, I'm not sure you've quite followed along. Like, you might need to do exclamation mark WFDND, like straight out the title of the stream here. I am doing multiple tiers for each Warframe. You just got here? I figured as much. So we got the Nidus Initiate, challenge rating 4. Nidus Adept, challenge rating 9. Nidus Master, challenge rating 14. Nidus Prime, challenge rating 19. Would it be classified as an aberration? No, all Warframes are classified as a monstrosity. They're all monstrosities. Humans turn into these monstrosities. Humans or humanoids. It works. So yeah, the Prime is the most dangerous of them all, having access to all 4 abilities that we see in Warframe itself, and therefore all of the maximum powers and bonuses. On top of this, the Primes get few other features. Let's see, was the damage resistances that comes in Senses, and it's a condition immunity. So, it is condition immunities, prone and restrained. All primes get that. It's basically prime sure-footed, but slightly better. And then damage, resistances. I'm going to go with poison and acid. Actually, acid, poison, alphabetical. Corrosive and toxin. Poison, acid. There we are. Oh, corrosive, acid, poison, toxin. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. There we are. Should I go for the poison immunity as well? No, it's only resistance, so I won't go the poison immunity condition. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Alright. So yeah, now that's updated. That looks more primey over there. I haven't updated the XP. I think it is 22k? I am correct. Yeah. There we are, now it's updated. Whilst I'm here, I might as well do the hit points correctly before I forget for the 3,000th time today. Hit points with a +6 modifier, 4.5, 10.5. I'm going to round this one down. No, round it up. I like having it over 300. It looks scarier. 29 times 10.5 is 304. There we are. That's terrifying. How will transference work in this universe? What's transference? Doesn't exist here. Warframes are Warframes. There are no child soldiers in Dungeons and Dragons. You will not be fighting kids. You do not need to kill children. Kinda makes it a little bit more palatable for most tables. I did just get here, so this isn't a redundant question, but why does Nidus have 20 intelligence? Would it be on human scale due to the Tenno? Once again, Tenno don't exist. Secondly, he's a challenge rating 19. He is supposed to be absolutely devastating. So yeah, he's damn intelligent. All spellcasting abilities are done by Warframes using intelligence. That's a design choice for myself. So yeah, they are absolutely smart. The monsters know what they are doing, and in this case, this monster knows absolutely what the hell it is doing. It did not get to be a prime by being a moron. It is a threat. It knows the value of the weapons you are carrying. It understands the spells you are trying to use, and it knows precisely how dumb you think it is. It's going to use its arsenal to its fullest to take you down. It's also my permission to the DM to be mean with it. Yeah, you don't need to have gloves on and be all gentle when using primes and other high-level creatures. Even at the initiate, 14 intelligence. It's there to cause havoc. Not just to be a pushover. Because it's a Warframe! Come on now. Warframes are supposed to be scary. And if you've played 5e against Litarask, it's not scary in 5e. Oh yeah, it's got big numbers, but it's not scary. That thing got nerfed. Great. Ravenous. How do I want to go about this then? Creating a field of effect, create a healing zone, that'll be nice. I want to have the maggots. Quick reminder to myself on the maggots then. The maggots go into the enemies. Mutation stacks. I'm not using the mutation system at all. I have just passed over to the passive of unyielding as a thing. Spawns maggots. Maggots will go over to enemies, latch onto them, tiny toxin. And then toxin explosion is toxin damage times number of stacks plus 1. So it's just got the scaling thing there. When they're hit by virulence, they explode for an amount of damage. Explosion is again scaled by strength and then stacks. Cool. Okay, so stacks we're not working with. I can just take the numbers and scale it up. That works. You haven't played much 5th edition? Okay, fair do. 5th edition is very simple in comparison to many other crunchy, combat-orientated tabletops. It's not the simplest format out there, but it is far more simple than other versions of D&D, I'd say. Far more simple. Right, so Ravenous. Nidus seeds. Here's wrong. It's infestation into the ground, sprouting a small field of water. What are we looking at? Warped. I don't want to say fungus. Warped leaves, no. Warped foliage, too pretty. Warped. I'm thinking warped is going to be the right answer, right modifier, but warped what? To distract myself for a moment, Momic saying, had a shower thought a couple days ago. We four were defending the hacked coil drive, mowed down our battalions, worth a desperate corpus, not breaking a sweat. Warframes are scary. Exactly, yeah. Warframes are scary. Which is why I'm allowed to turn them into monsters like this, because that allows me to dial them up to 11, be scary with them, and then you remember that that scariness is being faced by players, adventurers, who at challenge rating 19, they probably slapped God at that point. So it's fine. If you are not at the level you can go up to God and slap him, or her, depends on which pantheon you're dealing with, then you're probably not at the level to deal with Nidus Prime. That's the idea. So Nidus sees its infestation into the ground, sprouting a small field of warped. I don't have the full word for that, the right noun. Sustain will be fun due to the gear size modifier? Oh yeah, I can work with that. Flesh? Is it really fleshy? I mean, I could just respec it to be fleshy. I like more of an infested feel rather than fleshy feel. Viscera? Ah, it's just gory, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go a different direction then. Warped isn't the right way. I'm not getting something to grab onto warped. Let's not go warped. Nidus creates this kind of just... It's kind of like a grassy field, but I don't want to go grass. Grass seems so basic. But then there is the pods where the maggots come out of. That's how you feel about Nidus? What, Viscera? The maggots come out of those pods. Those pods are larger, twisted things. Twisted. Create a small field of twisting. I don't want to use tendrils again. I've used tendrils too much. Tissue. Twisted tissue. Warp tissue. Warp tissue just sounds like a kind of a misheard Harry Potter spell. Warp tissue! Aye. Looks like he's accepted Squelch. Yeah, I get that. We could go with the Viscera if I take a slightly different approach, rather than just naming it adjective Viscera, which would I feel it just lands a bit flat, because Viscera is such a powerful word, as it were. Just warped Viscera wouldn't be enough. How about let's say sprouting a small field of ichor dripped, no, ichor smothered Viscera. Like, really dial it up to 11. Ichor smothered Viscera. There must be a good word when describing demons and devils. Oh, we're neither. We ain't got the devils. There's no Tenno, so we're fine. Snake Raider, cheers. Rather than sprouting field or something, just infest the area. I'd like to give some kind of imagery to it, to be honest. Because that's one thing that in a number of spells 5e kind of lost, was a little bit of flavour at times. I like to give just a starting imagery, nothing too much to it, but enough to give an impression to the DM to help out someone who's not the most flowery or descriptive on having somewhere to launch from. Just enough of a phrase to trigger an idea in people's minds. Even if it's not the right idea, enough of an idea to set the theme. That's where I go for descriptions. So just infest the area doesn't get me close enough to that concept. At that point, infest the area, anyone can have anything from COVID-19 to cockroaches in their head. Neither of which lands Nidus. That's where the sprouting comes. It's this manifestation, this growths. Exactly, Penguin, yeah. Malign the area? I don't know. I am literally looking up other words that can help me. Befoul. I'll be honest, these are words of just describing a negative effect on the area. It doesn't really conjure up the imagery. That's what I'm going for, the imagery. Because at that point you might as well just say curse the area. Nidus pisses on the ground. Actually, Nidus pisses on the ground has more imagery than maligns the area, to be quite honest. What is a maligned area? Is it a Walmart parking lot at 4 in the morning with no moonlight? Is it the back rooms but someone defecated first? I don't know. Is damage harder to calculate in D&D than Warframe? Oh no. No, not even close. Damage calculation in D&D is baby math in comparison to Warframe. Absolute baby math. You can teach a 5-year-old the mathematics involved in Dungeons & Dragons. In fact, you should be teaching a 5-year-old enough mathematics to play Dungeons & Dragons. You should be. If your 5-year-old cannot follow enough of it, yeah, with some help, but enough of it to just understand the basic concepts at play, they don't need to understand averages and probabilities, just the basic concepts at play. Might need to work on those mathematics skills. But Warframe math? No. Just no. Exudes its infestation onto the terrain. Again, we've got the exuding, we've got the terrain, but it's infestation. It's not getting far enough. 5-year-olds should be able to do adding subtraction within 40? Yeah? I mean, I know it's in top set, but yeah. Shit, I was handling, counting in multiple different bases, not just base 10, but also binary as well, before I even got to secondary school, so that's before I was into double digits. And the fundamentals of algebra and even differentiation, integration down when I was 11. So, yeah, I remember those key points. If basic addition and subtraction, yeah. Like, it's basic. Hey, you rolled a dice. What's on the dice? 6! Okay. And the goblin, he has 10 hit points. Okay. So we're taking 6 from 10. Count it down on your fingers. Okay. Get all your fingers out and your thumbs. That's it. Good, good. So we got 10. Now we take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So he's just got that left. So what's he got left? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4! Yes! Snake Raider, you're not getting any pudding. Within 10, you agree? Yeah. And for most things that you'll have young kids dealing with, they're not going to be dealing with bigger numbers than that. Because you're not going to have a 5-year-old playing a level 9 character. They're just not going to have the concept of the mechanics. So at the level they can handle the mechanics, they definitely should be able to handle mathematics of it. There's not even any multiplication, division, anything else beyond just addition and subtraction for them to do. Hell, half the time it's just, is one number bigger than another? Yeah, they can do that. They can do that. Proper education, absolutely. And I say that from having seen proper education in action for a lot of kids. Been involved in that a little bit. I've seen what it should look like. So, Nidus seeds its infestation into ground. Nidus spawns a mass of writhing flesh and viscera on the ground. Let's combine the two there. Spriting a writhing mass of flesh and a viscera. Nidus sees its infestation into ground, sprouting a writhing mass of flesh and viscera. Yeah. That has enough of an image to it. We got the sprouting, giving the kind of the floral hint to it. We got the flesh, we got the viscera. The heavier words to go, okay, this is meant to look grim. Twisted flesh and viscera? It's already writhing. Do we need to add the twisted? Nidus seeds its infestation into ground, sprouting a writhing mass of twisted flesh and viscera, or sprouting a writhing mass of flesh. The twisted, yeah. Adds a little bit to the cadence. I like it. Just changes up the beat ever so slightly. Yeah, Nidus seeds its infestation into the ground, sprouting a writhing mass of twisted flesh and viscera. Yeah. It's heavy. It is almost to the point of overdone, but that sells it. Yeah. That's a lot of endo to farm snake. Yep, good luck with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Nidus sees its infestation into the ground, sprouting a writhing mass of twisted flesh and viscera. Taking off topic, how do you feel about 4E? 4E was the one I got started on, actually. I never dabbled in earlier editions of D&D. 4th edition was the one at the time when I got introduced to Dungeons & Dragons. And there were bits that were problematic, there were bits that I liked. One of the curious things for me is that at the time, I kind of bemoaned the level scaling. That you would constantly be adding modifiers, and then the modifiers of difficulty challenges also went up as well. It was more complicated, it didn't seem to make sense, some things seemed completely unattainable, but on reflection with 5e doing the opposite of bounded accuracy, I actually have come to appreciate 4e not having bounded accuracy. Task really 4e was kind of silly compared to previous. Good game, but it's separated from third was the best. Okay, you're not finishing your sentences there. Help with Broraya. Penguin was saying, play 4th edition once, cast magic missile to miss, and then try to do diplomacy stuff. Fair enough. Wait, magic missile to miss? Oh yeah, that was an errata, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, 4th edition was a little bit more gaming in its combat setup. I mean, D&D has, for the longest time, been very focused on combat. Of the so-called 3 pillars of Dungeons & Dragons, you've got combat, this grand, ornate pillar with all the bells and whistles. You've got social interactions, which is this mound stood next to it. And then exploration, we have yet to find that pillar. There isn't an exploration pillar. They'll tell you there is one. They are lying to you. There is not an exploration pillar. There is a set of survival mechanics based on just rolling and seeing what dice said. But there isn't an exploration pillar. Instead, the exploration is adventures. So D&D missells it in saying that it has 3 pillars. It has 1.5 at most. Anyway, aside from that though, 4th edition was combat orientated as well. It focused on squares rather than feet. Honestly, I don't have a problem with that. If anything, it makes it universal for crossing international lines, because feet versus meters just become squares. Squares works. It's just another representation of distance at the end of the day, and we work in squares anyway, so the fact that people complained about squares, get a life, quite frankly. 4e was stickier in its combat. It was harder to get around things, whereas in 5th edition you really can just slip around the place. I think, just thinking it through, yeah. I get where people were coming from. A lot of the critics about 4th edition was the daily encounter and at-will powers. Like, oh, everyone's become a spellcaster now. Like, okay, yes, everyone has standardized system of having at-will, encounter, and daily powers. Okay, cool, yeah, you can see the buttons you're pressing. But then I look at 5th edition, and I look at how we have short rest classes and long rest classes, and how that has created such difficulty balancing the fuck out of the game. It's ridiculous. That the whole Lydia Marshall quadratic caster is worse in 5e than it was in 4e, as far as I have seen. That 5e is trying to keep marshals sensible, whilst allowing casters to just have even more spellcasting than before. It's kind of ridiculous. You know, that changed from, was it Vankian or Vancian? I forget the pronunciation, to pretty much just at-will casting for everyone. Task saying, my problem was cutting of a lot of the content, such as spells and feats, made it more video gamey. See, and yet other people argue the opposite, saying, oh, all these feats and whatnot, it's forcing you to design builds, you can't just pick a line and know that it's going to work. That's a matter of preference, really. The removal of spells and feats doesn't make something a video game. I would contest that directly. Ray said, I got the idea of Viscera from Creep Tumors in StarCraft. Oh, no, that's fine. Ray! Sorry, I want to put some clarity on this, for anyone who doesn't quite understand what Ray Newver has just said here. Ray's like, I got the idea of Viscera from Creep Tumors in StarCraft 2. I hope that doesn't pull too much from there. Ray, did you pay any attention to the Cambion drift? I'm gonna bring up a couple images for anyone who doesn't know what we're on about here. First, let me grab. Yeah, here we go. So, open image in new tab. This is a StarCraft 2 Overlord. We have an Overlord and an Overseer. They float over the creep. They move slowly, they hover, they're like giant balloons with tentacles. Do we recognise this? Do we recognise a big floating sack that can carry other infested Zerg creatures and drop them down? Alright, yeah. It happens on the Cambion Drift as well. These big old pods float over and drop stuff out the bottom of them. I mean, that can't be all of it. That's not going to be my only way of bringing this together. How about we have a skittering, wormish-like creature which can fire ranged attacks and do melee attacks? I'm sure we won't have another one of those pop up, will we? I wanted to open the image in a new tab because, yeah. This is a Hydralisk from StarCraft. This is a Hydralisk. Skittering creature with fierce claws, and it can fire ranged attacks. In fact, basically, if you look at just the Zerg in general, you'll find yourself very close to StarCraft. And StarCraft, you'll find, has a number of connections to Warhammery stuff. And the Necromechs and Warhammer... Ah, right. It all comes circle. So, Ray, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all borrowed from the same sources all the way down. All the way down. So have you ever seen how big those things are in lore, by the way? It's absurd. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. In fact, will it get muted if I bring up the trailer? Worthwhile risk. Worthwhile risk. I'm going to find it. Bear with. Bear with. What's it? I want you guys to properly understand, for those of you who don't know, where we're coming from for these critters. Sit back, relax, it's about to become a reaction stream. We've gone there. Let's cancel the piano for a moment. This is what we're talking about. A bit louder than I intended. Where my fancy is barely modified Tolkien. Should I bother? It's all borrowed from everywhere. So when it comes to big old Leviathans and Plague Star, spawning drop pods,
worlds will burn.
All of that lot. I mean, it's it kind of starts fitting together. Does it definitely derail? Oh yeah. We can derail all the time, it's fine. I will derail for StarCraft any day of the week. It's Tyranid Swarm. Everything's borrowed from everything. Everything's borrowed from everything. Like how in Halo, there are the Terrans. And then there are these aliens with laser swords on their arms. And then there are infested creatures everywhere. Halo, StarCraft. Oh look, flying creatures swarming around, throwing projectiles and grabbing onto your face.
Now at last, on this world.
Why is everyone bipedal and humanoid? Certainly are. Yeah. Why humanoid? Because progenitors or something or other. Now, if we could have this as a skin, if we could have this as a proper skin, put it together, you know? Actually, no, let's not do that. I don't want to hear all the comments about Nidus. But yeah. Yeah, that's StarCraft Swarm. Now, if you think of what you've just seen there, put a red hue over all of it, and then go over to the Cambion Drift, and you notice there's actually going to be a lot of similarities. And if you play the game, you'll notice even more of them. The moment the Cambion Drift was showcased and released, I was just seeing StarCraft everywhere. I really was. With Warhammer's touch all over the Necromechs. Absolutely. Yeah, those wings are Telegen? Yeah, probably. So yeah, anyway, music back. Once we finish up the Nidus here. They finished, barely started on this ravenous. Nidus sees its infestation to the ground, sprouting a writhing mass of twisted flesh and viscera. On cast, and at the start of each of Nidus's turns. Let's go with 3. 3 tiny maggot creatures burrow out of the flesh And each maggot has AC 10, 1 hit point, and 20-foot movement speed. Acting, I should say at the end. At the end of each Nidus, it says acting at the end of Nidus' turn. When a maggot, I should be capitalizing these. Let's capitalize maggot. When a maggot is within 5 feet of a non-friendly creature, it may attempt to latch onto the creature. And we'll use it as an attack. With an attack roll. Roll. Plus how much to hit? Let's go with the intelligence plus 11. Plus 7 to hit. On latching. Sorry, it may attempt as an action. It may, as an action, attempt. There we are. That's the right way around. When a maggot is within 5 feet of a non-friendly creature, it may as an action attempt to latch onto the creature with an attack roll, so it's just a hit. On a hit, the maggot latches and deals some amount of damage. A maggot may be removed from a creature as an action, destroying the maggot. Now you might think, oh, just an action, just take it off, that's not much, but it's taking a whole action to do it. Is latching different from grappling and restraining? Yes. Grappling and restraining. Grappling has its own rules for grappling. Restrained is a condition. I'm using latching to be separate from that, and also specifying it's going to use it with an attack roll. Specifically just an attack roll. So yes, definitely different, Squirbo. I want the armor to be protecting, and otherwise someone's dodge ability if they've got dexterity-based AC, rather than being able to just kind of wrestle the thing away. It's a tiny little thing. What the heck is Ray on about? Speaking of Pokemon, I made a list of Pokemon I could live with to lore standards. I recognize one of those names. 2 of those names. I've heard of Espeon, and I recognize Venusaur, and that's it. That's all I got. Anyway, I'll leave you to your pokies. On hit, Maggot latches, deals some amount of damage. The end of Nidus's subsequent turns. This damage repeats automatically if the maggot is still attached. Okay. If a maggot is start with virulence. If virulence is cast with its area... No. With its area... If Nidus casts virulence and any number of maggots are in the area, I'm going to ignore what you guys are up to right now, but don't take it further. If Nidus casts virulence and any number of maggots are in the affected area, those maggots instantly explode. Each creature within 5 feet of each non-friendly creature within 5 feet of an exploding maggot. Let's make a dexterity saving throw. How much space have I got left? Not a lot. I might skip the explosions. Depending on. We'll see how it all fits. Let's make a dexterity saving throw. DC 19. On a failed save, the a creature takes some amount of... I don't know, it's blast in Warframe, but I'm not going to go with thunder here, so I'm going to go with acid damage. Both of them acid. And then we want the healing zone. Oh, I haven't even defined this area yet. Covering a circle centered on Nidus with radius of... It doesn't need to be that big. It isn't that big in game either. 8 meter ability diameter, which is 4 meter radius, 4 by 3, 12, 15. I want to be bigger than 15 feet. No, I'll go radius of 30 feet. I'm thinking like tiny banelings, Ray. I'm thinking tiny banelings. Hence the explosion of acid. Nidus sends out the spikes pop the little maggots, and the maggots go... And then there's acid everywhere. Oh. Fair enough. You'd say no explosions players have enough to worry about. The players have to worry. It's Nidus Prime. It's supposed to be a worry. In addition to this, no. While the spell is active, Nidus and creatures friendly to it regain how much? 10? 10. 10 hit points. If it starts its turn standing on the infested ground. While the spell is active, Nidus creatures friendly to it regain 10 hit points if it starts its turn standing on the infested ground. Pure and simple. 10 should be fine for this level. Bit of healing, not crazy. So let's see, damage stats at this tier. We're expecting to have 90 damage per round. Oh, these maggots aren't going to be allowed to do a lot then. I'm going to... We'll figure out the number of maggots in a moment and put it all together. 90 damage per round. Let's see, what are we getting from basic actions already? We've got the multi-attack and legendary action. Getting claws, quick shot. Let me bring up all those numbers actually right now. Claws should be 12 because it's a +5. That's 15. And this one, on the 2 hits, increased to 11. This to 9. That to 7. That's a 3. And 7. It's 15, 14. 15, 30, 44. So per turn it can only get 44. Normally we're looking for about 90 around, so we could definitely go crazy with the other stuff. That's good. Lava I haven't increased at all. Sorry, Virulence I haven't increased anywhere either. It's still only 24, which is still higher than we get for the others, and it's now got a new interaction. I might give more cast of Virulence. Have I got space to put that in? I have. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to give it additional cast of those two. So if I go break there, 1 per short rest, and then these are 2 per short rest. I realise I've not pluralized powers all the way through. Let me just quickly do that. There we are. And then it is Ravenous. This doesn't feel like it's going to be 9th level. No, this is an 8th level. This ain't a 9th level spell. I need to figure out damage numbers. Right then. Ravenous creates a number of these things. At the end of each Nidus' turns, 3 tiny maggot creatures burrow out of the flesh. Each maggot's AC 10, 1 hit point, and 20 foot movement speed. Out of any spot in the flesh. Give it that extra fear factor that it can pop out. The maggots can appear from any part of it. Nidus controls that. Should be implicit. So 3 tiny maggot creatures burrow out, each maggot's AC 10, 1 hit point, and 20 foot movement speed. They're slow, but they can get there. Also, they can dash as an action, because dash is an action. Actually, at the end of Nidus' turn, when a maggot is within 5 feet of a non-friendly creature, it may, as an action... Comma should be there. It may, brackets, as an action, or comma, as an action, it may attempt to latch onto the creature with an attack roll +11 to hit. On hit, the maggot latches and deals some amount of damage. So, 3 maggots per turn, scaling up continuous maggots spawning, so we want the damage to be minimal at first and scale upwards. Obviously they could be 4, but that is a cost. So if we're looking for 90 damage per round, this is costing an action in the first place. I aim for... If I aim for 30 damage from those 3 maggots, so 10 damage per maggot. If it's not dealt with, it'll be 30, then 60, then 90, then 120, so that can scale very nicely already. But also, 30, next turn, if they are all dealt with and the next ones come out, 30 again, plus whatever else Nidus does. That should work. So yeah, let's aim for about 30. If I go with 33, if I go 2d10 for 11 each, that should be fine. So yeah, if we go 11 brackets 2d10 acid damage, that should be a reasonable level there. That should set the threat of watch out for these maggots. They are going to be nasty. They're going to keep dealing with the acid. You have to deal with this. You cannot ignore these. That should work, yeah. Each man has AC 10, 1 hit point, and 20-foot movement speed. Yeah. I don't need to stat him out fully. That's going to be enough of a stat. DM Fiat otherwise. Like, it's 1 hit point. They should die. Is very clearly communicated there. If hit, dead. GPT Raynor. Very befitting. Say, hi Ken, have you seen the new Flea Mortals book yet? Nope, no idea what that is, sorry. No idea. Oh yeah, okay. They have 9 cast virulence, any targets in an affected area. Those maggots instantly explode. Each non-friendly creature within 5 feet of an exploding maggot must make a dex save. On a failed save, the creature takes... let's do... it's going to be with virulence at the same time, so I don't want loads of damage, because again, that could overscale. Let's go... Let's just go 11, yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. We'll do 11. On a failed save, the creature takes that, or half as much on a successful save. Does that all fit? That all fits. Good, good. While the spell is active, notice a creature friendly to it. Regain 10 hit points if it starts a turn standing on the infested ground. Cool. So Nidus is struggling at range. Nidus is resilient but struggles to get into range to do stuff. That's the idea here. Everything he's got is relatively limited in range, relatively limited in movement. Even his jumping it's jumping, but like it's not flight. A lot of Warframes are very vulnerable to flight. Jupiter, I was going to mention the minion mechanics, but if you're unfamiliar, maybe what effort those worth. I'm familiar with minions. I absolutely understand minions and the whole any hit is enough to kill them. If it would be half damage on a save, they take none. That's straight from 4th edition. 5th edition didn't include the minion mechanic, but I absolutely appreciate it still all the same. Fundamentally, you can just use low hit points in 5th edition for much the same effect. Like a lower challenge rating creature is basically minion. But for the maggots, I didn't want to do an entire stat block for them. There's not really a space I could put a maggot stat block. And so we'd need a whole new page. I just didn't want to go down that road. Nah. I appreciate it. I appreciate the idea. I've done it for Atlas's Rumblers. They have a stat block for themselves. But then they're not minions. But for the maggots, it just doesn't fit. If anything, maggots having 1 hit point and not having the minion treatment fits. How do you deal with a whole bunch of maggots if you are an adventurer? Fire. Burning hands, fireball, summon meteors if you really have to. Just fire. And because that does damage, half damage on a save most of the time, the maggots will still die to it. That's good. No, Snake Raider, you do not eat them. Zom, you do not pet them. They will eat your flesh. They will burrow into you, and they will melt you, and you will die. And Nidus will then take your loot. So how much damage do you need to put Nidus down? Haha, a bit. Nidus Prime, we're looking at 304 hit points. 304. And that is standard for a challenge 20. I've given Nidus the hit points and armor class of above 19, but not by a lot, so that his damage can be down a bit. And his damage is down. Despite everything I've done here, his damage is on the lower end. You're talking about unyielding? Oh, unyielding, yeah. He's got a con save of plus 12, so that's 13 minimum roll, so double that would be 26. So you need 28 or more. Yeah, 28 or more damage in a single hit to kill Nidus Prime once he's down to that point. Or psychic damage of any amount. When he's on 1 hit point, a single bit of psychic damage, boop, no more Nidus. He's done. Okay, so plus to hits on this are all correct. 5 plus 6 is 11, yep. 9, yep, that's been done. 5s and 3s, 2 to 6, 7 plus 5, 12, yep. 4 plus 3 is 7, yep. 7 on that, yep. 3 on that, yep. He attacks, I'm not going to buff them up any further. He doesn't need any more buffing, he doesn't deserve it. He's getting it all from Ravenous and from Parasitic Link. He's got additional casts of Virulence and Lava. Parasitic Link is 6th level, Ravenous is 8th level. DC 19, 19, yep, 19, yep. 19, yep, so all the DCs are in the correct places. That is good. Plus 11 to hit, yep, that's fine. I won't need to list the plus 11 here because it's not Nidus doing it, it's technically the maggots. They've just got it there, that's fine as is. And he's got everything. Cool. Slightly over time. It works. Terrible bad jokes that weaken Nidus? Yep. Nidus is strong, but not that strong. There we are. Chat, what do we think? Nidus, Initiate, Adept, Master, and Prime are now D&D monsters. Whew! Are spells in D&D taken alongside an action or instead of and count as the action? Strigley, I think you're misinterpreting the basic rules of D&D possibly. Well, D&D is different editions, so first you need to specify your edition. Second, if you're dealing with 5th edition, which is what I'm dealing with for these in terms of their design, spells have on them what kind of action is needed to cast them. So they'll say either an action, a bonus action, a reaction, it might be a duration, like it might take a minute or an hour or a day to cast. The time it takes to cast is specified in the spell. Even when in tiny notation like I'm using here, spell, 1 action. The action that Nidus has on his turn is used to cast that spell. And again, this is specifically 5th edition. But yeah. You say, it's a bit sad how easy it is for one man in the Twitch chat to make better monsters than Wizard of the Coast. Well... I mean, yeah, Ray's right. I have got the benefit of deriving from Warframe, whereas Wizards of the Coast have absolutely no reference material they could possibly ever derive stuff from. Wait. About that. Nah, I'm happy with how this has all come out. I think this is a terrifying Nidus. There are plenty of weaknesses. There are counterplays. Moves you can do to deal with him. I'm happy with it. I'm quite happy with that, how it's all come together. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up there. We are definitely out of time. There's no point dragging it out. In fact, on Sunday we have got more good old Warframe to attend to. So of course, be around for that as well. It's all part of the Quest to Conquer Cancer campaign. I'll be going on with that as well. I mean, it's been amazing so far, the support from all of you already. Let's see how far we can take it, shall we? But for now, chat, it's been wonderful. It has been wonderful, once again, making these monsters with you all here. Let's see how long it'll take to get on to the next one, I suppose. Anytime idea what you'll be doing Sunday? Any idea what I'll be doing on Sunday? Let's translate that to people who are not tired. I will get to that when I get to that, Snake Raider. Watch for the notification in the Discord. There'll be the details. That'll have the details. Jimmy says, stop getting regular monster books from Wizard of the Coast after Spelljammer. Most monsters just regular monster with unusual nature strapped on. Oh, well, fair enough then. Yeah. Anyway, that's all we got time for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. It has been wonderful, and I will see you in the next one. Have yourselves a very wonderful weekend, and take care. Bye-bye now.